Welcome to Strongest Style Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the living legend, Logan Hurston. I'm of course joined by my co-host, the gimmick killer, Cooper Prater.
Children of the night, what sweet super kicks they kick.
And he is a giant, Mr. Jack Dudley.
Happy Halloween and trick or torture, everybody.
Trick?
It's good to be here.
Trick as in Trick Williams? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, this is the Halloween Havoc podcast. Joke's on you. No. We're not talking any of that bollocks. Welcome back to Strongest Style. It is the night before All Hallows Eve, but I don't think we have any Halloween too much other than AEW Fright Night, which
their whole Halloween themed show.
But it wasn't very.
It was pretty.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was pretty scary being at that show at that Lucha show at points.
That's fair.
I was scared for my health. We can get to that later.
But yes, this is the first episode back from Lucha ATL, the show we've been talking about for weeks. Sadly, I did not get to go to the show. I got wrestler's eye. My eye swole up 3 sizes that day, I got hit in the face a couple times, hard style, and had to nurse my injury instead of driving to Atlanta. I was so bummed out when I was like, I'm losing $75 in the experience of a lifetime. Yeah. I'm very excited they got to go. I'm excited to hear about it, to say the least.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was an interesting time. It was different than any other show we've been to before, for sure.
You got the true experience right there. But, yeah. I
definitely don't blame you, considering that you were growing another Logan on your face.
That is true.
But, definitely the most unique wrestling experience I've maybe ever had.
No doubt.
Yeah, joke's on you. The reason my camera isn't on is because the other Logan is talking right now. No, I am glad to say my face has grown back to its normal size. It literally, the next day, I was like, if it was like what it was the next day, I probably could have made it. But that morning, I decided to turn into Rocky Balboa. So, but yeah, let's go into some normal AEW talk. You guys watched most of last week's episode, which I missed, but I watched most of Fright Night AEW. So I'm gonna let you two hit some of your favorite parts of last week's AEW Dynamite and Collision and sorts.
Yeah, well, so last week's I thought was a really strong episode of AEW television. There was, really, in my mind, just a couple of big highlights that I want to hit. Starting with the phenomenal, I think, can I go ahead and say this? The promo of the year from Samoa Joe.
It was awesome. I'm so glad I tuned in for that. That was just great.
Yeah. Now, granted, there was a match before that, but I don't. Who cares? nobody remembers that. The Ops, this newly heel version of the Ops. Although I don't know, because they are heels. They did beat up Hangman after Wrestle Dream. But do you cut this kind of promo if you're a heel? I don't know, Jack. What's your opinion?
I just ate a Twix bar while you asked me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Truly in the Halloween spirit.
It's Halloween. Yeah, exactly. No, I think Joe is in this position now as an older vet where he can kind of play whatever role he wants. I remember this is kind of reminiscent of during Hangman's first reign, when I think Danielson challenged him, and Danielson was definitely playing a heel role going through the Dark Order, that whole storyline. But he didn't, once it was over, he was really just back to his normal self. Once you get to a certain point, you're kind of just an amalgamation of every version of yourself you've ever played in wrestling. That's how I always think about it. And though Joe is clearly playing the villain for Hangman right now, I don't know if it'll have any lasting impact on what he's going to do for the rest of his AEW run, but I'm not sure. It definitely didn't feel to me like he was not being very villainous. He was just being a badass, like he always is. He still wants that belt. It's as simple as that, and I don't think it's quite to the level of like a full heel turn, I guess.
Yeah, I can definitely see that point of view on it, and I agree with a lot of it, particularly. Yeah, he's not so much a like archetypical bad guy in the sense that we see it in wrestling usually. More so, he's just more so focusing his aggression in on the most popular face in the company, which by that circumstance makes him, more antagonistic towards the very, very pro Hangman audience. So it is an interesting line to walk, and one that I think, like, if it was anybody other than him, I might be more annoyed. But I think because
I totally get that. It
was so like, but that angle of the Ops attacking Hangman was such like a big drop at Wrestle Dream at the pay-per-view. I kind of expected maybe a little bit more direct follow through on that, but
sure.
But regardless, this is a way too philosophical preamble to say that Samoa Joe spent this promo talking about the big fat women of San Antonio and how Powerhouse Hobbs liked them so much.
And keep them occupied, man.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, luckily we're in San Antonio. Powerhouse Hobbs started raising the roof. He was like, ooh,
yeah. Well, I think what he was trying to do was he was trying to mime lifting one of said big fat women in San Antonio.
He was getting excited, man.
We could be reading too much into it, that's for sure.
Right.
Hey, man, I got the message. Me and Powerhouse Hobbs, we were like this. We understand each other.
Excuse me, cut that.
Sneeze button. Hey, don't worry.
Yeah.
Me and Powerhouse Hobbs, we were like this. We understood each other in that moment.
Kindred spirits. Powerhouse Hobbs and Logan Payton. And Cooper Prater to an extent. I don't want to speak for Jack.
Living in San Antonio, man. I wonder if Samoa Joe and Charles Barkley has ever have a conversation. I'd like to see that promo battle.
Oh, they have to have, right? Like,
sure,
at some point, the Warner NBA connection, while that was still a thing, right?
It has to.
Come on.
Right? Surely.
Yeah. But yeah, the crowd here was definitely, I think, not too offended by what Samoa Joe had to say, just because it was so funny. But once he gets pointed to it, the real kind of circle back to Hangman in this promo says, thanks to AEW's recap page for giving the direct quotes here. Joe says, and much like these people say, Hangman Adam Page, you may think that this is just some cowboy shit, but rest assured, just like every one of you slack-jawed Texans in here, I will slap your cowboy ass and make you my bitch, just like every sports team has made this state their bitch. And that the ops are the ops because they stand in opposition to everybody, and rest assured that they are never lacking. So I am very happy to see this program continue. The build to Wrestle Dream I thought was good, but definitely had more meat on the bone. Particularly towards the last week or so of it, and Joe is just always credible. We've talked about this before, but yeah, like the giving Hangman a different type of antagonist to Moxley and Fletcher, I think in the form of Samoa Joe is a fantastic idea.
For sure. What are some other highlights?
my only real like big one that I want to talk about. Before I get to that, actually, this women's tag stuff that's going on right now, I think is already kind of indicative of my concerns with having these belts in the first place, which is that I don't know that they have fully planned this out yet. So on last week's Dynamite, there was a 4-way women's tag match, and it was the teams of Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, Sky Blue and Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, and Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. And the gist of this, the justification for having this match was that the winners would pick who they wanted to face in the first round of the tournament. So essentially, the brackets had not been made before this match, and they then announced the brackets, which I do think looked pretty good. But you very easily could have skipped this whole thing entirely and just got to the bracket. I mean, it was good in the sense of it introduced me to maybe my favorite tag team in this new women's tag division, that being Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter. I thought they looked absolutely phenomenal here. That finish where Aminata gives her headbutt into Jamie's Haterade, I think is one of the most just gross and awful looking, in a positive sense, finishers in the game right now. But yeah, I thought the kind of stuff surrounding it is a little messy.
Yeah,
which might be, I think, how if how they usually book new belts is any history to go on. I think that might be a sign of things to come. Unfortunately,
you want to hear more examples of your chaos? So, reminder that Jamie Hayter challenged Tekla to blood and guts a month ago, right?
That is correct.
On the most recent Dynamite, Fright Night Dynamite, it ended with the men's blood and guts, where the Death Riders...
Oh my... Wait. We're going to have a men's blood and guts match too?
It's going to be the Death Riders, all 5 of them. Garcia, Pac, Claudio, Yuta, and Mox versus the Conglomeration and Darby. So, and Roderick Strong, because he's technically not in the Conglomerations, but Kyle O'Reilly, OC, Mark Briscoe, Darby, and Strong. Throwing down blood and guts. Orange did that last night, half-heartedly. He's like, oh, blood and guts. But that graphic was made 12 hours later. They already had a graphic. Jamie Hayter challenged Tekla and the Sisters of Sin to blood and guts a month ago, and there's still no graphic or confirmation of the teams or anything of that nature. So
Jesus,
it's
okay.
Yeah, look, I love the company, but they definitely put less effort into their women's feud, especially when you're making women's tag team championships and you announce it 3 weeks ago, and then you don't announce a tournament, and then you just have random matches. They keep mentioning it, but not, and then finally mention the tournament. I don't want to tell you what happened in the tournament because I feel like you're going to be disappointed, Cooper.
Okay, yeah, don't spoil that for me then.
Okay, well, but, I'll spoil it later. Don't worry, but you can keep going on Dynamite.
Okay. Tune in for next week to see how bad Cooper crashes out on this news. That's kind of the thing. I am in favor, in theory, of a women's tag division, but the problem is that for both the major companies that have done this, they have started this without giving it the proper time and bulking of the division that it needs to. And so what you have is a bunch of Franken teams fighting for belts that in a couple of months are going to be on the same tier as the trios belts. Ultimately, is how it's going to be, because this was the same thing with the trios division. It was a good idea in theory at the time, and flash forward a couple years later now, and they're 0 hour stalwarts, the trios champions.
It's like you have enough teams for it, and I will say this: AEW has done a better job at because of a lot of their feuds just building women's tag stuff that it's a believable thing right now.
Yeah, the matches are good.
Yeah, the matches
and the wrestlers are good.
And even I don't think it's nearly as bad as a Franken team problem as WWE has or did when they started women's tag titles, just because of how frequent they have just women's tag matches, and eventually you find teams and stuff like that, and you have lore there. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I just know the news just dropped today that Penelope Ford got injured, but I mean that was a perfect example of, I think, a very thrown together Franken team, Penelope Ford and Megan Bain of all people, that I think has at this point gotten really over as a proper unit, and I think are they still need a name, they still need a team name, but I think people see them very much as a tag team together. So
that's also
it can be done.
The main problem of most of this tournament is there's barely any dedicated team names other than the Sister of Sin.
There's the Sisters of Sin, who are a subgroup of the Triangle of Madness, and and that's it. So
good news and bad news. It's not all bad news. The Sisters of Sin did advance, because they're still building Blood and Guts, but they advanced via.
Okay, so
your team that you were very excited about are already out of the tournament. Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata. So the Sisters in advanced, which is good. You can't complain as a big Sky Blue fan.
I can't. I've never been more conflicted in my life.
That's when you were like, this was a very good team. I was like, don't say that, Cooper. Don't say that.
Oh no.
But it's by Techlabolics, so it's leading to Blood and Guts at least. They were it's adding to the build.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I actually think obviously Willow and Stab been a team in the past, they're not in this tournament, but Mina and Tony have been sort of a unit for a while. Harley and Willow, or you could say what you want about Harley, but she has been in the tag division. TJ, they've been clamoring for it for a while. I'm fine with the titles. Just treat them meaningfully. You don't have to give the greatest build, but you need to like the Ops. Love the Ops. And but you have the Hurt Syndicate, you have the Demand, actually having trios matches, and the Ops just barely ever have had since they held the titles for the Death Riders. They just faced the Death Riders a couple times. Then
first time they fought the Hurt Syndicate was on this show.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a nothing. Who cares? I'm it's the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah. More people were talking about Samoa Joe talking about big old San Antonio women.
Well, that's not here nor there.
Yeah.
But so.
I'm sorry. I feel like I've hogged this segment. Jack, do you have thoughts on the women's tag stuff?
No. Nothing that y'all haven't said before, in all honesty. I think the issue is one of, obviously it's not good that this is me just saying the most obvious thing in the room. It's not good that they don't get equal time on TV, but regardless, it is just an issue of TV time. There's only so many titles that you can possibly feature, even when they have this many shows nowadays. It's a classic wrestling promotions dilemma. There's only so much time in the world, to get your titles over.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's true. It's true.
It's yeah.
Well, taking a step back from that into the other highlight that I wanted to hit from last week's Dynamite was this Jon Moxley Kyle O'Reilly match.
Yeah.
I adored this match. This is a for sure match of the year contender in my book. And not just because I thought the work in the ring was really well done, although it was. Kyle O'Reilly in singles action is much more interesting to me than his tag work, because he really gets to show off his very technical submission based work, which I think when he has time for it rivals like a Zack Sabre Jr. type, but also for what this particular match meant for Jon Moxley as a character. He had a very interesting little character beat in the finish here, with an intentional disqualification, and I thought it was incredibly well done. So Kyle really just kind of ate Moxley for lunch this whole match, pretty much. There was never a point that I can recall that it looked like Mox really was properly in control. And anytime that he got pretty quickly swamped with some more of Kyle's submission game. And this culminates in Kyle, I think, getting him in an ankle lock, if I remember correctly. But it's weird. It's an ankle lock, but Mox is still standing up and kind of like hobbling on one leg. Or at least that's the image that I have in my head of it. And Mox is kind of freaking out. He's been going for the ropes all match to break these submissions. He's very lucky that this was not a pure rules match, because if so, he'd be really screwed. But at one point when he's in this lock, he's looking around. He's not quite close enough to the ropes yet, and he absolutely does not, under any circumstances, want to verbally submit or tap out. And so he grabs the ref by his collar and just fucking decks him. Just absolutely just clobbers this poor man. It was really shocking, I thought. But yeah, I think making Mox's cowardice and his fear of submitting like a real like certified like the fatal flaw, that's his kryptonite now. I think that is so interesting, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Well, I will say that is the one thing about like Blood and Guts that I like. Mox having to surrender. Sorry, Jack. I want to let you speak a little bit on this. As the true House of Torture Mark, I feel like you would love the intentional disqualification.
I did, and I was super pleased with this match, because it's been a long time since I've seen Kyle in any singles capacity, since I'm not as frequent a watcher, and he is so damn good. It was really a fun time for me seeing him. I love his moveset. I love his character in this one too. And Moxley is hella interesting, just like everything Cooper said. It's weird seeing how his facade is cracking so quickly after losing the championship and then losing to Darby. I'm echoing, aren't I?
You are echoing.
You are echoing.
Oh, I'm echoing too.
I could not hear you for a second, so I just took out my earbuds real quick, but I have them back in.
Okay, it might have been on.
Okay,
yeah,
we're good again. Good. Yeah, that's all right. I was just saying that it's interesting how quickly Mox's whole facade has kind of fallen after the losses to Hangman and then Darby, and I do love I love the whole idea of him just becoming a total sort of coward and losing his edge and being ousted from whoever. I don't know as much about the Death Riders and what's going on right now as you do. Who's really propped up to sort of take over and kick Moxley out? I'm curious what the dynamic is looking like. Is it any of them?
You could say DG, but I don't feel like he's ready for that, because the idea of him joining is he doesn't want to lose And, like, he hasn't lost. I don't think he's been pinned in any of his matches. But, I mean, personally, if you're going to have someone do it. Oh, Cooper still can't hear anything. But we're going to keep talking while Cooper's figuring this out. I think Claudio at any point. I mean, the dude is a killer, you know? Like, he perceivably can take over this group. And he's the guy who, like, believes in the Death Riders and believes in all this stuff. So I think at any moment he could take over. I also think Pac coming back, if you want to really add, you know, his physique and stuff like that. One of them two is who my bet would be on. But can you hear us, Cooper?
Simple enough. But
take that as a no. R.I.P. Those Discord sound effects for Halloween are cracking me up, man.
was messing with me too. I was like, what's going on?
I mean, simple enough, yes, but like, especially like someone like Pac could really use it. I think Claudio at any point. I mean, I don't think ever see them actually making him a main eventer, but I could see like them giving Pac a run, you know, because he's been there for so long, and he's been so inconsistent because of injuries and stuff like that. I would like it would be interesting. Though I could also see Daniel Garcia. The only one I don't see is Yuta.
Yeah. Yeah, I like where this is headed. Who does he have at the next show? Where is this leading to? Oh, it's Blood and Guts.
So
Sorry,
you're good. Do you have anything else to say about this Dynamite while Cooper's gone?
No, I also liked the Okada versus Bandito match, but that was just a good match. There wasn't so much to be said about it.
There's two great workers. It's a good match. Well, I'm going to run down Fright Night real quick.
Okay.
But let me pull this up. Let me pull up the YouTube channel. All right, Fright Night Dynamite. There wasn't much Halloween action, honestly, this night. We started it off with a tornado tag with Orange and Darby teaming up against the Red Death Riders, as I've coined them, of the young boys of Daniel Garcia and Yuta. And this match had a very fun ending with, it was just a normal, you know, brawl with OC and Darby and stuff like that. A lot of great spots. My favorite part was just the ending, which is basically they had Yuta tap out to the Scorpion Deathlock, which is what Mox tapped to quit at Wrestle Dream. And Bryan Danielson was on commentary and basically said, see, he didn't learn to tap out from me. He must have learned how to quit from Moxley. Bryan Danielson was also dressed up as Hechicero on commentary. Let's see if the boy's back. He's trying.
Hello.
I can hear you all now.
Yay!
Yes, wonderful. Hechicero Danielson.
Yes, there you go.
Fantastic.
He's here. Yeah. Then we moved on to, there was a 4-way for the number 1 contendership of the tag team titles. It looks like we're getting more Don Callis possibly persuading the Young Bucks, as he basically like, hey, I know you said no before, but you know a lot of circumstances have happened outside of your control. Maybe you want to join the family again. You could think on it, but I've got you guys a special entrance. They came out to their normal entrance. Don Callis gave them his intro like he does for like Hechicero and stuff. And then the most ungodly amount of pyro. So much so that the Young Bucks, who are not used to hearing pyro anymore, got scared by their own entrance. We had Jet Speed. We had FTR come out. Because I love this note of, because this match is so pivotal for the AEW like number 1 contendership, all managers are banned from ringside, which means Stokely must join us on commentary, is what Excalibur said to Brian.
Oh, that's great.
And he got over there, and they're like, Brian's like, I don't know where he's going to go. There's no chair for him here. And there's only like, he had to stand. Someone had to go get him a chair. Then Jurassic Express came out with Jack Perry in scapegoat mask. Well, he wore it.
Party City Goat mask.
He wore it out with his normal like new gear, with the knife and everything, and then handed the knife to Danielson.
Oh my god!
And Danielson goes, "I got a knife." He's like, "Maybe I could use this on Stokely."
Oh god!
It was funny. You didn't even like hear like Perry go over. You just heard Danielson go, "Sweet," whenever he handed him the knife, and Brian and Excalibur were like, Jack Perry just handed Bryan Danielson a knife. This was a fun match. I am a big Jet Speed mark, and I want the best for them, but I knew they were not going to win this match. But Kevin Knight, as always, came out looking like $1 million. He got a kick out of the BTE trigger, which is pretty cool. And the match, a lot of fun tags. It felt like Jurassic Express wasn't going to win it. I thought the Bucks honestly were, but I liked the finish of basically like the Bucks did a lot of the work. They were wearing down Jet Speed, and then FTR basically came in and threw the Bucks out. And then literally like it was one of the like weirdest big rigs like Shadow Machines I've ever seen, because instead of like pushing them off the ropes, they had like Knight stunned. So they just literally like Cash or Dax picked them up and just dragged them around until the other one to hit the move. Like, didn't even like elevate them. They just picked them up like a little baby and just hit him with the move. It wasn't the cleanest, but it was also like that's kind of awesome that you're just like ragdolling a guy. But yeah, FTR win the opportunity, and they will face Rodito at Wrestle Dream. We then had the Don Callis Family Summit, where we had all the family members come out, except for Trent Beretta still, but Trent Beretta's still in the group. Well, and obviously like the Injures guys, because he was on the painting that they revealed today. Takeshita wasn't there originally, and then he came out in the middle of the entrance, just looking so sad. Walked down.
I saw some people saying on Twitter that he was aura farming during this section, but he looked like his heart was like broken.
He did.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
He looked so sad, and he didn't even have like his normal cool outfit where he was like the wife beater and the big baggy pants. Like, he looked tiny because like the shirt he had was like so blown out, and he was so dejected. And he walks down, immediately starts like bowing up to Okada, and then Don basically was like, they had this whole like rah-rah thing where they had Josh Alexander and Rocky speak about what it takes to be a member, and they had like Kyle read out like the oath that each member takes, and then Don was basically like, look, I want you guys to make peace, and he basically was like being the father figure to Takeshita and being like, you have to do this, and if you don't, even though you were the first one in, you will be the last one out, and I will kick you out of the family, basically saying if he doesn't make up with Okada. And he wasn't saying any of this to Okada, by the way. He just didn't say anything to Okada. And then he's like, you brought the IWGP to the family, and we want to keep it here, but we need you to make up. So I want you to shake his hand. So finally, Takeshita, like looking like the saddest man on earth, extends his hand. Okada looks at it, puts his own hand down, looks at his hand, and you know what he's going to do. He just turns the biggest crap-eating grin of all time and birds him in the face. Just middle finger right to Takeshita. Immediately had to break him up, and Don's like, okay, you can't shake hands. We're going to have you work together as a tag team, which I think is kind of counterintuitive because they just did that at the pay-per-view.
I was about to say, it worked so well last time.
But he said, Collision, you two have to work together. And Okada, the masterful rage baiter he is just dying of laughter in the background. But yeah, they'll be tagging on Collision, Cooper's favorite show, against the Acclaimed. And two dysfunctional tag teams. Who will combust first is the question. But yeah, that's that. Then we had the rematch between Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley. This time, instead of ending in disqualification, ended in a double countout, where O'Reilly tried to get Aubrey to like restart the match, and then Marina Shafir just got in the ring and decked Aubrey Edwards. And the Death Riders started beating down, and that eventually led to the Blood and Guts announcement. Mercedes and Chris Statlander brawled with Athena getting involved, but then Willow and Harley Cameron made the save, which is interesting seeing Chris and Willow in the same ring, working together. As mentioned before, the Sisters of Sin beated. The Sisters of Sin beat Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata by Tekla Bollocks, as we like to coin it here on the podcast. That's Jack's favorite wrestler. Ain't that right, Jack?
No.
You love Taro Okada storylines.
I always make these offhanded comments about wrestlers, and somehow it becomes like a canon part of my personality. Realistically, I don't feel that strongly about Tekla, but if it's for the bit, then yes, I can hate her. I guess that word.
You just don't care. If she's on your screen, you don't care.
I don't really care. She's basically. I mean, she's.
This man is not beating the allegations.
She is go away heat to Jack Dudley.
The most important thing that Tekla is doing in my wrestling world is slowly driving Clark Connors out of New Japan.
Whoa.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Big Clark Connors heat? Whoa, what do you do to you?
In a bad way.
Oh, okay.
In a bad
Why?
way.
Because she wants so he comes to AEW, I guess?
But I am tired of Wheelson, though. Yeah.
What? You tired of the
Did I just hear you
one?
say you're tired of Wheelson? Come on.
Yes, I am tired. But we can talk about that later.
Wheelson feels like it should be a House of Torture gimmick. Like, how does the Bullet Club guy get the wheel as the weapon and not the House of Torture guy? Because I saw that in the Sonata match, and I've not been paying attention to Clark Connors, so I was very confused. Why does this man have a wheel?
That would be if American Badass Undertaker joined the House of Torture, he would have the
Right.
Dude, imagine American Badass Undertaker and Don Fale in a tag team.
Peak is what you just described.
But yeah, sorry. We're going to run down Dynamite real quick. Main event, 4-way between Bobby Lashley, Ricochet, Hook, and Samoa Joe. Who's going to win it for that number one contendership for the AEW World Championship? It has to be Samoa Joe after last week's promo, which it's kind of weird because they started it with like Hook basically being like, I'm with a bunch of veterans, Ricochet, Bobby, I respect you, but I'm coming for you, Joe, and I'm taking you out, you liar, or whatever. And then he's like, I'm not letting you get the AEW World title. But then he tapped out to Joe. He just tapped. I was like, that's kind of the opposite of what your promo was, but all right. I mean, hey, Joe's that guy.
Well, yeah, you can.
But
you can talk all you want, clutch, but yeah.
Which Joe gets his number one contendership. Then we have Tony Schiavone come out. We had the whole night. They had some inflatable men in costumes around the stage, including a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The Ops brought him to the ring, beat the crap out of him because they're like, "That's Hangman, that's bait," obviously right there. Just random guys. Tony Schiavone was in the background with a Phantom of the Opera mask on during this segment, but at some point he switched out with Mr. Hangman Page, and Hangman was mocking. I guess he had like a pre-recorded thing, or maybe Tony was like off the stage somewhere. Gives the toast to the Ops and then a toast to Hangman, and then he said, "Who's the king? A cowboy, shiznit," and basically reveals it's Hangman, beats up Shibata, hits him, kicks him in the nuts, kicks Hobbs in the nuts, hits Joe with the beer bottle, rips off the mask to reveal it's him, that he is Tony Schiavone this whole time, including in WCW, and then hits Joe with a buckshot lariat. Hangman is the king of Halloween in AEW terms, which is pretty fun. I think it's a fun way to end the show.
This is the one part of the show that I did see beforehand.
This was insane, y'all. This was crazy.
This is awesome.
He looks so much like Tony.
He did. Well, the problem was they had actual Tony in the ring, and then somehow I didn't even notice when they swapped him out. But like now that you know it's him, you can tell. But like if you don't know him, like he looks exactly the same, like hairpiece and all.
Yeah, I kind of am mad that it got spoiled for me because I really wish that I could have known, like, if I would have known it. But yeah, I will say, like, him in the Schiavone he looks like almost like a buff Schiavone. Like if Schiavone got like pumped up 2 sizes.
Oh, for sure. He should just start wrestling as Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I thought this was a very fun way, and I was very happy because there wasn't much costumes on this Dynamite. But also Penelope Ford got injured, and instead of Ford, we're having another Franken team. But Marina Shafir and Megan Bain seem to be teaming up in the tournament, so it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that can be something.
Go ahead, Coop.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna wonder who were the other costumes this episode.
There was none.
Oh, Hangman was it?
Hangman was it. That's what I was saying. There was like a super lack of costumes, other than like.
Oh well, because I know that you said that there were like these like inflatable.
So
guys
there
or
was
whatever,
like guys
but
backstage, including like Stay Puft Marshall. Let me see if I remember who these.
There's no like cosplay gears or anything.
I mean, the only one is the one we've already seen with what's it called? Penelope Ford and Megan Bain. They had it on backstage, you know. But like I don't think there was like any costumes other than like Danielson. No, Chris Statlander was dressed up as like a ninja.
Okay, that's fine. I
And
guess.
then obviously Danielson Hechicero is the big one. There was like it was like an inflatable.
They have a
Sorry.
DC crossover going on right now. You're telling me that they couldn't like get some more of those DC Comics gears going
Come on, guys. I mean, they had the inflatables. By the way, were the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, an inflatable cow, and an inflatable chicken.
Okay, sounds like a party.
It sounds like a party, but yeah, I don't think there was. I mean, Hangman was like the only one that I can remember. That's why I was like, "Come on, guys, where's the costumes?"
Yeah, I know that John Moxley has a shitty little Red Hood mask.
He does.
You know, come on,
He may have lost.
We
that in
gotta.
Japan.
We gotta. Yeah. It got claimed in customs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it for Dynamite. But let's talk about Super Junior Tag League real quick.
Sure. It's not been the world's most exciting tournament. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but there have been some gems, like there always are with these kinds of tours. I've really enjoyed getting to know Yamato and Yuki Yoshioka. Kushida and Yoshioka have been a real standout team for me. They had probably the match of the tournament against Sweet Boys, Eagles, and Fujita. The main thing I have to say is that today we're nearing the end. Sho and Doki did clinch a block this morning. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Undefeated.
They won. Yes, they went undefeated. They won. They beat Wado and Yo. I think they're okay. I like them as a team, honestly. It's the most exciting show has been in a while. I think their shtick is pretty fun, and it just makes sense to establish them, even though they're champions. They're a newer team, so it makes sense to get them in the final at least. I doubt they'll win. It's basically in B block down to Robbie X and Ishimori or Fujita and Robbie Eagles again, which makes sense. There is like kind of a weird fringe three-way tie situation, I think, if some random shit happens, but it's probably going to come down to those two in the main event on Saturday morning. So I think it'll probably end up being Eagles and Fujita versus Sho and Doki, unless they want to do another run back of the War Dogs house thing, but I hope not, because I really don't want to see either of those teams win the tournament. Yeah, it's been fine. I'm looking forward to Final Homecoming, this pay-per-view or I guess not pay-per-view because they're not pay-per-views, but this event that's coming up that's going to have the final and the two top championship matches. That's going to be on Monday, so we can look forward to that. I think those three are the only big matches announced so far, but that's about all from New Japan this week. It's not been a very exciting couple days. It's just, check out that Yoshioka and Kushida versus Ichiban Sweet Boys match if you can. Fujita and Kushida always produce gold in the ring. They've had 2 or 3 great singles matches, and now this. I hope whenever they go with Fujita is like the real ace of the division, they let him defend against him at least once, because they're pretty magic together when they're allowed to be.
I feel like Fujita is like one of the few guys that like really gets other folks excited to work with. I think that is a big part of it. But yeah, Jack, I am so glad that you are getting more enjoyment out of Yuki Yoshioka in this tournament than I have ever gotten watching him ever. Hopefully the 5 Dragon Gate marks that listen to this maybe won't hate me too much for that.
I got 2 things to say on this. How was Oshioka and Kushida versus Dick Togo and Kanemaru?
That was also pretty good. It was, I think yesterday's. Are you messing?
No,
with
I'm
me,
serious.
I thought it was good. That one was yesterday, and it was honestly.
I heard it was a year's best for Dick.
Yeah, they put on a good fight.
I know. I do love Dick Togo and Kanemaru. I like them a lot as a tag team. I wish they were the ones who held the belt instead of Doki and Sho, especially because Doki has the junior tag or the junior heavyweight title
and junior belt. Yeah.
The other thing too is because of that he has both, and he's going to be in the finals, and like the finals aren't for the tag team championship, so it's like again, if Ichiban Sweet Boys or say the War Dogs beat this team, then are they just going to run that match back and then do a separate junior heavyweight title match at Wrestle Kingdom? Do we not see the junior tag titles get defended at Wrestle Kingdom because of that? Because I don't know if they want Doki doing double duty, or are they going to pull the titles off before Wrestle Kingdom? That would feel a little weird, you know? Like, I think also...
Yeah.
I think what they should do, actually, is they should have House of Torture go over, and then they get to pick their match at Wrestle Kingdom, and they do it against Dick Togo and Kanemaru. And they do a bollocks match to start the show.
Keep it in the house,
and then they have
Keep it in the house.
Doki versus... what's his name? Gosh, why am I blanking out on the Mr. Sweet Boy himself? Why am I blanking out on his? Fujita. Yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking out on Fujita's name, but
I've seen a lot of speculation after this match that he might be defending against the Master of Puppets.
Master! Oh my gosh, I would pop so hard. The Grand Master, the 100th champ. Yeah. He would have to get that music if they let him do it.
He would finally become good.
It was so funny. When I saw him, I'm like, this is the dumbest guy ever. And then he won me over in that first match I saw him in, that 4-way with him and Ishimori and Despy and Hiromu.
That one where I was terrified that he was going to win.
But then that was kind of why it was awesome. It's because originally it was like, and then I was like, wait, this guy's kind of beast. He's kind of awesome.
I know. He kind of won me over there, too, honestly.
Because originally, like, I don't want this guy. Who the heck? I was the same way. I'm like, who the heck is Master Wado? But at the same time, I think Fujita's 100th champ was also B. I think they should just have Fujita win and then him face Kushida and then do a best of 7 series with the Grand Master himself.
I think there's a chance that going back to what you were talking about earlier, there's a chance that probably the junior tag titles just don't make it on. I've seen some speculation / loose sources from all the New Japan podcasts I listen to. They sometimes will get word of stuff like J-Cast and Keeping It Strong Style and stuff like that. And it seems to be kind of a thing making the rounds that it might be a shorter card this year than most Wrestle Kingdoms, partially because of the it's being brought like on broadcast TV this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a few titles. That might be why, honestly, just to aside, that might be why they decided to do double belts for Doki, and also are likely, or at least there's a chance that they do global versus world championship in the main event too, is because of that. So.
But yeah, I think it's time to move from the island of Japan to Atlanta, Georgia, where Lucha Libre lives, apparently. Tell me about this Lucha Libre show.
To beautiful Norcross, Georgia.
It lived and died in Norcross. This show was something. The whole day was something, because
It really was.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell it from my perspective. Um, I thought I was not gonna go quite as early as I did. Drive over to Atlanta because my fiance I was picking up, she was coming into the airport, and I was gonna go pick her up, and she got there way earlier than I had anticipated. So already I started my day off heading over there way earlier than I planned on. And because of that, me and Sarah were able to actually meet Cooper going to see Frankenstein in 35 millimeter at a fun local theater. I forget the name of it. Cooper, can you provide that with me?
It was the Plaza Theater in Atlanta.
The Plaza Theater, yeah. And it was fun, but the projector completely like shit itself and died.
Yeah.
And,
the
and
one
it
time.
wouldn't start working. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's why that's not a common practice anymore. Is to do movies like that in theaters.
We were
Anyways,
in shock for a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
it
it just
was
kept doing
crazy.
it. Yeah.
it just kept on going until we just left 20 minutes early. We got to the show, and we, just made ourselves at home, kind of in the little nightclub that the show is in. We got some honestly pretty good food for
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
far as
absolutely.
concessions go. I really enjoyed the street tacos I got there. We met Masquerade Sagrada. Cooper bought a mask.
I did.
That was fun.
Yes. I shook his hand too. He was a phenomenal guy. So.
He seemed nice. I wanted to get a picture with him, but it cost
He-
$20.
Not even
Well,
with
yeah, the picture was $20.
not even with the meet and greet.
Well,
Still.
yeah. So we missed the meet and greet entirely
Ah.
because of the movie.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. But the so Masquerade Sagrada, like I said, great guy. But $20 for a picture, all right. And then so he had two types of masks that he had laid out on his table. I asked him because I was 100% going to buy a mask from Masquerade Sagrada. And so the first one is kind of this like vinyl sort of very cheap kind of material. It would rip if you looked at it the wrong way. And and so I ask him, I'm like, oh, how much for a mask? And he points to that one and he says, that's 30. And I was like, okay. And then he points to the other type of mask, which is this really it's like all sequenced, and I don't know if this was like ring worn or what. But it was clearly much fancier. And so he points at that one and he says, or this one is 200. so that's the scale that Sagrada's working on. So I took $200 out of my. No, I got the $30.
I was about to say no way.
No, not a chance, brother. Not a chance. But yeah, I did get a little silver Masquerade Sagrada mask, which I put on during Demus's entrance to mess with him. So
That's pretty funny.
yeah. Hio de Wagner had a massive line that I think was maybe why the show started an hour after it was supposed to.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I wanted to get everyone through there. The show started. Cooper, you probably are better to do the rundown. I'm not as good at this as you. So you do the card
Okay.
rundown. I'll provide my funny anecdotes.
Well, there's not much to go through. It was a 6-match card. I thankfully have it pulled up on Cage Match. It is now up on Cage Match. So in classic Georgia and Alabama indie show tradition, we opened with a 7-way scramble. I don't know why. This is just what they do around these
Featuring
parts.
karaoke.
Yes.
Yes, actually.
This is where friend of the show, Teriyaki, came in. So he was joined by a cavalcade of independent wrestling talent, such as the OXP. Logan, do you know who the OXP is?
I'm looking at his cage match now. Apparently, he's from Tennessee. The Ortiz Experience? Justin Ortiz?
Sure.
He's also from the world of television.
Oh, what? Diego from Cobra Kai. Have I seen this guy?
Yeah,
yes.
There you go. Yep.
There it is. So we were a mere 15 feet away from stardom there. So
I've seen most of Cobra Kai, and I've never seen this guy.
Is that so?
I guess he's in the last season, but I do not recognize this guy. He is apparently, as he put in his Instagram, the Spanish Hawk. So, because there's a character named Hawk, and he is the Spanish one.
Okay, yeah. He had kind of like a sort of sci-fi looking gear on, so I don't know that at all translates into his wrestling career.
Wait,
but,
I do know this guy. He was on Ring of Honor with QT Marshall.
Oh,
I remember actually seeing him with QT Marshall. I don't remember what he did, but yeah, the OXP. What the heck are we doing?
Probably got squashed.
Got to get him in the ring with the cheating try guy that was in Ring of Honor.
He was in Superman.
Really?
He was a stuntman.
Probably
Superman.
an extra. Oh, a stuntman.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Teriyaki and the OXP were also joined by King Garuda, who is another luchador. He had a pretty cool looking mask and wore a little vest over his tummy.
Yeah, he was cool looking.
Yeah. Also a tag team that entered this match as singles competitors, but they came out together as a team. It's so much that they had a video package before. This was the first thing on the show, was this video package for this team. The No Sabo boys, or No Sabo kids, I think kids. I think it was the No Sabo kids. The team of, I believe, Jose Manuel and Shuda Gabe, they had a video package where I think the audio was real messed up. It was kind of like delayed between the screens. So there was like a big center screen and then two smaller ones to the side, and I think the audio for both was out of sync. But I think the gist of the video package was that they were trying to find the best Mexican food in Atlanta, and they settled on Taco Bell.
Yes.
And they got... And,
I saw this on social media before the show. They had posted this.
Okay, yeah. And I guess they got the special, the No Sabo Kids Taco Bell order, and they had a logo, which was the Taco Bell logo, but with their name on it. They suck. And I
You hate Shuda Gabe? Shuda Shoota Gabe?
I despised
Have you
it.
seen Shuda Gabe matches?
No, of course
Logan?
not. Why are you asking me this?
Okay.
You know what I want to ask, though?
I thought-
I'm looking at this cage match because you told me about it. You have not mentioned Mr. Sexy once, and he won the match.
Dude,
Logan.
Mr. Sexy, we're getting there. We're building up to it.
That's the whole.
Who cares about
It's a
Shuda
build.
Gabe when you got Mr. Sexy and Teriyaki in one with the OXP?
I will tell you about Mr. Sexy when you are ready to hear about Mr. Sexy. Okay. Because you have to experience him the way that I did, which was at the last minute and very surprisingly. But Jose Manuel and Shuda Gabe, one of them, I don't know which, wears glasses while he wrestles. They're wraparound glasses, but not sunglasses. Just I assume to read. It looked horrible. But yeah, so it was them, a guy called Hakeem Young, who was, I believe, the gentleman that came out to Killmonger's theme from the Black Panther movies. And he was fine, I guess. And of course, the main event, the man that we were all there to see, Mr. Sexy.
This was awesome.
This guy is my new favorite. He is the American Kuroshio Tokyo Japan. I love everything about him and want him to be on every show.
Oh man, we all liked Mr. Sexy. I think the show peaked early with Mr. Sexy, if I'm being totally honest.
Oh yeah, he came out to, I forget what, some Sexy Red song. It was definitely Sexy Red though, and he was like, he had a lollipop in his mouth. He had his mirror that he was looking into. He was making some motions on the entrance ramp that were very interesting. Mr. Sexy is by far, I think, the highlight of this show coming out of it, and the thing that will last with me for a very long time.
Can you describe to me what Mr. Sexy looks like? Because let me tell you something. I'm looking at this cage match. Everyone has a profile except for him and Hakeem. There is no profile for Mr. Sexy. So I have no idea what a Mr. Sexy could look like.
Okay.
You can find it on Twitter pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. Yeah, he is a very a very interesting looking guy. Yeah, and his in-ring stuff mostly consists of him finding new and creative ways to do hip thrusts, either towards his opponents, towards the audience, towards nothing in particular. But if he's there, you are going to see some hip thrusting.
Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, as he should, he is the winner of this match. I forget the finish. No, it's unimportant. I forget the finish to all of these matches. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. But, you know, it's the vibe of the thing that matters. So then, after that nice little warm up, we move on to a 6-man tag, an intergender 6-man tag, with the team that came out first was the Rudos, the team of La Sangre Controversial, the controversial blood, as I like to call them, which consists of Romeo Quevedo, Salazar de la Muerte, and La Brava. La Brava is the woman of the group, and Romeo Quevedo and Salazar are the men's tag team. They come out in face paint that is very, very reminiscent to me of the new get-ups that they have Jeff Cobb and the Guerrillas of Destiny doing over in the Federation. Romeo Quevedo specifically, I think, looked a lot like Jeff Cobb in this one.
That was funny.
He's kind of a bigger boy, and had sort of a skeleton thing going on. And La Brava's face paint is also kind of skeleton-y, but more in like the Dia de los Muertos kind of way than Salazar and Romeo, who are very kind of like death metal sort of looking. They also came out with a manager who I did not catch his name, and he's not listed on Cage Match, but he looks very much kind of like Brother Love and like Jim Cornette, like kind of merged together, kind of.
I was gonna say Freddie Blassie too.
Oh yeah, a little bit of Blassie, yeah, a little bit of like I don't know, like 2000s Hugo Savinovich almost, like Very, very much like a very loud. He's a heel manager who can get really red in the face when he's yelling, and that's kind of what you need. So this team of very evil, very goth, very spooky guys and girls were met by our good guy team of Cosmo, El Hijo de Universo, the son of the universe, Xiomara, who is the woman there to even out the odds against La Brava, and my second favorite wrestler, your friend and mine. He helps you get around Norcross, Georgia in a pinch. He is sponsored by the sponsor of this show, OK Taxi. Jack, I'm talking about Taxi Man.
I loved Taxi Man. Taxi Man was actually like this ginormous 6'5" fucking beefcake.
He was fucking juiced to the
really
gills.
Awesome. Yeah, it was great, and he threw some mean lariats too.
Yeah,
during the
he wasn't half bad.
No, I think every company on earth should advertise exclusively through their own custom luchador at this point. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think? I guess they must have created this for Mucha Lucha ATL.
I assume so. I think he's been on multiple of these shows. I know he's been on multiple. He was on the last show, certainly, which was another AAA collaboration. But yeah, I mean, he is very much like a plucked out of OVW type kind of guy. And I didn't get much video from this night, but one of the few videos that I do have is of Taxi Man doing a tope suicida.
Can you send me? Can I see that, Cooper? Can you send me that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I have some news that is related to Mucha Lucha. So I've been puzzled by what a Mr. Sexy can look like. And I finally just looked up Mr. Sexy Mucha Lucha ATL, which I saw his entrance video on Facebook of all places. And it took me to his Instagram. I want you to guess where Mr. Sexy is from and what's his real name.
Where he's from?
I have no idea.
I can't imagine that he's from anywhere other than Atlanta.
He's not. He's not from Atlanta.
Wow, that's
his name is Joshua Ray. That's why I couldn't find him. He doesn't even have Mr. Sexy in his bio, which is crazy.
It's about to become the most famous name in wrestling.
He is
in the next couple of
local to the great state of Alabama.
We get to claim Mr. Sexy.
But
where's he from? What
I
city?
have bad news. He's from Tuscaloosa. But
okay.
Which is good news for me because I work in Tuscaloosa, so I'm going to find Mr. Sexy the next time he gets booked. I am following him on Instagram, and the next time he gets booked on a local show, I will be there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you could see Mr. Sexy probably every weekend if you wanted to.
I assume he lives in Tuscaloosa right now. I don't know if he's from there. He just has in his bio a little pin that says Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Wait, he was voted the next up star of the year or something, presented to Mr. Sexy. Oh, he wrestles in Action Wrestling.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, another Georgia company.
Guy. Mr. Sexy himself.
We saw some action, or I saw some Action Wrestling T-shirts in there. In Mucha Lucha. So maybe some crossover. So the next and final match of the first half of this show was a women's three-way match that it consisted of the luchadora Dayami, who I was unfamiliar with, but has a pretty cool looking mask and entrance. She seems very kind of like, very like ancient warrior-esque in her presentation. Then So we gave a lot of praise to a lot of people in this show so far, and I'm about to really give out about one particular wrestler in this match. Before she came out, she also got a video package introducing her to the audience. I'm talking about this wrestler Corinne Joy. She is very young, maybe our age, maybe a little younger. I don't exactly know. But in her video package, she said, to my knowledge, that she first started watching wrestling. Logan, do you want to guess when Corinne Joy, this young woman, first started watching wrestling? How she got into the business?
I've seen this package because, again, I've been so tapped into Mucha Lucha. I've been paying attention to everyone their Instagram posts, and I genuinely forgot. But it's gonna be like she's at NXT 2.0 mark. I know it.
Logan, Corinne Joy, in her own words, or to my knowledge, in her own words, what I remember her saying, which is more important, really, is that she got into wrestling when Raw went to Netflix.
That's what it was. Yes. Yes. I remember, and she's like, another athlete, like, I guess I'll give this a try. And they're like, Lucha Lucha's like, this is our new big prospect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were pushing her. They gave her the whole video package.
I mean, they know Sabo Boys also got a video package, so who's really being pushed here?
Yeah.
They still took the pin to Mr. Sexy, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you know, when your choices are No Sabo Kids and Mr. Sexy, what are you going to do? But yeah, look, I don't want to go too far. Everybody gets into this at different stages. You know, not everybody is going to watch the Nexus tear up the ring on Raw like I did, you know, in those Halcyon days of 2011 or whatever. Or, you know, not everybody's gonna watch Omega Okada, you know, tear it up in the Dome, and that's, you know, everybody gets into this in different ways, usually in a crap way. And
hey, I mean, Billy Starks was watching Prime Ring of Honor as a kid,
as
or somewhat
they go,
Prime,
right?
second Prime.
That's kind of the usual trajectory of a wrestling fan. Oh, I'm sorry. I think maybe I might be out of sync here. Logan?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
No, you're fine.
You're fine. You glitched out from me, but you're back to normal now. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, but there is, I think, a degree to which, you know, somebody's over eagerness to like the vibe that she gave off in this promo package was reminiscent to me very much of like what Zilla Fatu has been doing lately, which is please WWE ID, please sign me.
Right.
And like, you know, I get look, you got to play the game, and that's how a lot of companies find people and take notice of people now. More power to her. But man, was it annoying to watch. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I'm sure she will have a long career ahead of her, and she will probably be, you know, NXT Women's Champion this time next year. So
Evolve Champion,
and then won't I look stupid?
She'll be
yeah, probably Evolve.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's gone on a tangent, but I have to get this thought out. What's like the funniest thing a wrestler can say got him into wrestling? I saw Dick on Dick for the first time, and I knew I had to be a pro wrestler. It's like I saw Mox try to drown Darby Allin. I just knew.
Well, that's kind of
there's
base.
so many good ones though.
I was I was gonna say that first one is one of the more based reasons.
I saw the smart bastard.
Like the hell out of stuff. Yeah, I saw the Jake Lee espresso.
And I'm like, that could be me one day. I could get some random online fan editing me to Sabrina Carpenter. I saw you got Tokyo Japan, Mr. Tokyo Japan himself.
Kuroshio Tokyo, yes.
Kuroshio.
I saw Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in an empty Georgia Tech stadium.
I was the one fan in the stadium, and I was like, "What the heck are they doing? I need to do that." I saw Shota Umino shave his little head bald, and I said, I want to be a pro wrestler.
Yep. Everybody's different. Logan.
That is, I saw Raw on Netflix. It's like, I saw that video.
It's pretty bleak, isn't it?
What match was she watching? Was she watching that crappy Punk and Seth match? Like, yes.
I guess.
No,
she
she was watching Solo.
We're taking it all. The MFTs. The MFTs.
She saw old man Hogan get booed out the building, and she was like, "Yeah, this is it."
Honestly, though, that's kind of base. She saw like a racist get booed. She's like, "You know what? I want to do this." Some fans are kind of. Yeah. So one good thing we can say.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I just maybe remember the MFTs. My favorite Tongans. Or some say that's what I was like. That's what their faction is called. I was like, why are they called my favorite? Not all of them are Tongans. Jeff Cobb is from Guam. Or other people said, as my boss said, mother effing Tongans, and I was like, that would be cooler, but they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But okay.
Well,
back to Mucha Lucha.
back to Mucha Lucha. Yes. The other participant in this match, the one that really made it worth watching to me was Nikki Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
This woman came out, and I said, finally, an honest to God professional wrestler. And she is some sort of champion. I don't know what of, but she had a belt with her, and looked pretty rad, I thought, and was by far the standout in this match. She got a lot of really impressive looking power moves off. I believe at one point she had both Corinne Joy and Dayami up on her shoulders and into a Samoan drop, which looked pretty cool. But yeah, so she won this match, as I had hoped she would, and it was immediately confronted with the worst angle I've maybe ever seen in my life. Jack, would you like to describe what happened to Nikki Blackheart and Corinne Joy here?
Yes. Well, so first of all, one thing Cooper hasn't mentioned, which we figured out early on, is that the booker of this promotion, I guess the owner and operator, what have you, is doing some bullshit, annoying Mr. McMahon, Eric Bischoff, just dreadful heel owner character in this promotion. And him and his boys, his unit, came out. I forget what their name even was.
La Anexion.
La Anexion, that's correct. They came out to interrupt. They tried to convert Nikki Blackheart to the dark side for a very long time. Tried to get her to join the crew. By the way, there are no women in La Anexion. No reason to be out.
They're trying to make waves into the women's division, Jack.
Yes. Blackheart flatly rejects them. And you'd think, or at least I thought, that the bit was going to be that Blackheart rejected them, and then one of the other two tries to heel instead and impress them. What happened instead was that the three huge men beat the fuck out of these ladies.
All three?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
The absurdity of your sentence is cracking me up.
It's just
So one of them approached her first, aside from the owner who had been talking to her. He like walks up to her, grabs the mic, says something else to her, and like in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, they're not gonna just like deck her, are they? And as he keeps talking, the longer it goes, the more I'm thinking like, oh no, I can see it before it happens. And yeah, sure enough.
So yeah, they do this. They completely really they get no offense. It's pretty nasty, and then they get a lot of heat. The one thing we should mention about this show, just as a quick aside, because we might not be able to get to it again, but this was around the time when the crowd started to get unbelievably rowdy.
Yeah.
It started to. This was what defined the experience. That's why I think me and Cooper both said it was one of the more unique shows we've been to. It was a truly insane crowd where there were just both kids who think it's acceptable trying to have fun and just shit-faced folks in the crowd were loving throwing their stuff in the ring and getting all up in the heels' faces, which is fun. It reached a point in the last match where I was like, hey, maybe dial it down a bit, but it was fun to be in during this part because it was mostly just like popcorn and shit at first, and I was like, okay, that's cute, and little kids flipping them off and getting flipped off back. I thought it was a fun heat. Anyways, then the heels walked out and we got an hour-long intermission. It sucked all the air out of the crowd.
Yeah.
They sat there for 30 minutes and read off every sponsor for this show.
Not just read off. They invited them on to talk.
Yes, and not just that, it was the fucking evil bad guy who we just hated 2 seconds ago who did it in his Canadian tuxedo. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, he didn't even leave the ring. I don't think with his boys after. I think he was stayed in this whole time, and it was like, and now let's bring in the representative from OK Taxi to talk about what you could do and toss out OK Taxi T-shirts.
Yes. And that was the first 30 minutes, and then the second 30 minutes was them playing shitty trivia games and a Halloween costume party with the kids, which was cute, but it wasn't cute after I was desperate to watch wrestling again. And they turned the lights on and everything. It just really sucked all the energy out of the crowd. Thankfully, I think it started about an hour later at Cooper. It started with the Sagrada versus Demus. It was a trios match, but it was them two in the match, right?
Yes, you are correct.
That was a good match.
That was the best match on the card, I thought. This 6-man tag with the good guy team of Emperor Azteca, Masquerita Sagrada, and Samuel Olmo versus the Rudo team of Demus, James Tapia, who would also play a part in the main event angle later, and one of the members of La Anexion, who was involved in that angle, Riviero Rivas. So, yeah, this really was okay. We've had our hour-long break. You've all had some time to refresh yourselves. Let's get you back into the action. And man, there might not be a better person in the world to get anybody back into the action than Masquerita Sagrada. He was truly incredible in this match. Now this is not the original Masquerade Sagrada, who is, I believe, a 60-year-old man, but this was the former Masquerita Dorada and former El Torito in WWE. Now, from what bit of Lucha Libre history I am aware of, and the general kind of like sort of vibe with Lucha fans, I've seen a lot of people consider him, this particular performer, to be one of, if not the best, mini estrellas that the sport has to offer. I've seen him very often pop up in people's rankings in terms of like the minis divisions, he is something to watch, definitely. The other guys on his team too, Emperador Azteca, I thought was pretty good. He, I think, is also mainly based in Mexico, and was coming up for this show. But from what he presented here, I thought he, was a pretty, good standard lucha good guy. Demus, though, was having the time of his life, tossing around Masquerade Sagrada all over this nightclub. They took things to the outside pretty quick, and Demus then started gorilla pressing Sagrada into the crowd from various points. He was like trying to get each edge around the ring to throw Sagrada into, and he would fish him out afterwards. Then he moves him up the entrance ramp and then kind of outside to the elevated like seating section, sort of like the lounge area of the club. And I couldn't see too well because Demus and Sagrada are quite short men, but also because that area was very dimly lit. But from what I could kind of make out, it seemed like Demus had gorilla pressed Sagrada again, and this time just straight up dropped him on the floor, which got a big pop from the crowd. But yeah, so then they make their way back in, and Sagrada hits a couple of really impressive like tilt-a-whirl head scissors that just absolutely looked like an optical illusion almost. How fast he was going and how much control he had over it. I was really stunned, and like that was like what I think perked up everybody in the audience, me included. And yeah, like I said, I forget the finish for a lot of these, but the Technicos did in fact get the win, and that demon Demus will have to just, I don't know, get his revenge some other time. But yeah, so then we had this, man, we talked about,
we don't have to talk about the clown.
NWA's own.
We really don't.
These are NWA guys? Oh, that makes sense.
Show. We've got a lot more to talk about. We do not have to talk about the clowns.
Thank God. Okay. Yeah. Not a fan of the Brothers of Funstruction, am I? But
the fucking Brothers of Funstruction.
Yeah. That's they're making me sick all the way from here, So yeah. Just dog shit. Just absolute horror. I hated this so much. Okay, so your main event of the evening. What we initially might have thought would have been a singles match with two of the big advertised names was actually anything but, which we gathered might have happened after Demus and Sagrada were put into a tag match. So to tie all up the loose ends from the angle previous. La Annexion come back out. It is this time the team of Angel Fashion and Mike Mendoza. But those two guys don't really matter because they were facing off against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and L.A. Park, the former La Parka in WCW. Now, I just want to say that our best wishes go out to El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. in his recovery from the beer can that I saw get beamed directly at his head.
And he was furious too.
He was
he
not
looked at
happy.
the security guards, and he was like, "What the fuck, guys?" Yeah.
He was like, I just wrestled on Halloween Havoc. What kind of bullshit is this? Yeah, it was crazy. Now, granted, I do not think it was intentional. I think they were aiming for one of the La Annexion guys, and he got caught in the crossfire. But it was hard. Yeah, so that was like the first time that I was really like, okay, maybe this is going to be a problem. But in regards to the crowd, but LA Park comes out and he's really interesting to watch live, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, he has this. He definitely has this aura about him, which, like, you know, just over the decades of being, on both parts a really fun crowd favorite, but also like behind the scenes a really like just rebellious, kind of take business into his own hands kind of guy. There's an air of unpredictability about him. And seeing him, now in his older years, and he's a lot bigger, and is not afraid to throw his weight around a little bit, both literally and metaphorically. He comes across like sort of like in Japanese wrestling to me. Those older guys there that once they get into the trainer position, and really feel like they can just lay it out on these guys, like I'm thinking about Yoshiaki Fujiwara. I'm thinking about like Nagata seems a little bit nicer, so maybe not Nagata. But Chono, Suzuki, those kinds of guys. Once you age into your role, you are afforded a lot more liberties than most people. And so this match basically, it starts with a bunch of kind of bullshit brawling on the outside, and that's where we get the beer can chucked at Wagner. Meanwhile, La Annexion have beat LA Park to a pulp in the middle of the ring. The owner comes out, and makes himself the referee of this match. The heel owner of the company is reffing the match with his own faction in it. So you can imagine how that goes. And at this point, I believe, is when they undo LA Park's belt that's holding in between his top piece and his bottoms, and they start whipping him with it, and it made some of the most awful sounds that I've ever heard. It is a really effective kind of like just kind of really intense spot. They whip him a lot. It was kind of like the AEW MJF Cody 10 lashings kind of segment is what it reminded me of. Then I forget somehow Wagner comes back. Wagner at one point comes in with a broom from, I believe, underneath the ring, and smacks the bad guys with and it bends and breaks. Then they get control of LA Park's belt again. The good guys do, and give the heels their comeuppance. And I think I forget exactly what else happened. There was a lot of other kind of hot dogging and grandstanding and all that kind of stuff. There was a couple of like big splashes from LA Park, and then they get the LA Park and Elio de Wagner get the win with the help of another referee. By the way, this was another section of the whole show that we forgot to touch on. There is a referee who is an older guy. I forget his name. It was either Richie or Ricky. I'm going to say Ricky. And in the 2 matches, I think, that he had officiated beforehand, he was very incompetent. I couldn't tell if it was incompetence or he was like just straight up a heel ref, because he was very slow on the counts for the faces and very fast on the counts for the rudos. And he would just like divert his attention from things when he shouldn't be, and all that kind of stuff. And so that guy, though, that older ref who we saw early in the show, came out to even the odds and beat up the owner with his boys.
And it was awesome.
And it was fantastic. It got like a massive pop. And
I think Richie must be popular in the other shows. I bet he's a consistent fixture.
I hope he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were all chanting Richie, Richie. It was crazy. But yeah, and then they all they celebrated for a little bit, and then were attacked again. This time by James Tapia to help out the La Annexion, which I guess is setting up their next show in a couple of months, probably. So
probably,
yeah. Mucha Lucha ATL.
Mucha Lucha.
So that was that.
It's now time to move on to DPW Super Battle 2025, coming from the Grady Cole Coliseum in North Carolina. I forget, was this Durham or was this
Super Battle's in Charlotte, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. We're gonna find out in a second when I pull up this cage match. Jack has left the building. He said, "I'm tired of DPW. I'm leaving." But yeah,
it's like, is that YouTube promotion?
That YouTube promotion. It was Charlotte. You were right. Great Cole Center, not Coliseum. They had a Coliseum one time.
I was about to say it did not look like a Coliseum size venue.
Yeah. But we started off with Mr. BK Westbrook, who Cooper apparently
big BK guy. Say his full name, Logan.
Say
his full name.
Stud BK Westbrook teaming up with Bo Dash, the team of Bo Jack, former DPW's, the first ever DPW's world champion, and Morgan Dash versus Sinner and Saint and Trevor Lee in a 6-man action. It's all right. This is a fun match. I think it was.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was building towards that BK and Trevor match we were getting at. I think the second showdown in Cary, or whatever. I forget what it's called.
Yes, Cary.
Yeah, showdown in Cary 2, which will be the number 1 contendership for that national title. But look, I love the nickname, the Super Stud. I think he works better as a heel, though he's a face. But this gear, man, I need to send
the gear is bad. I will admit.
I'm gonna send a picture of this gear into the Discord if I can find it, so Jack can see like how bad this gear is.
Okay.
And I don't think he's had like all of his gear is awful, but this one especially is like, what are we doing, man? I guess
some of it, yeah. It depends on like what colors he's using. I think as to how good it works.
Stud.
Yeah, BK is interesting. He is, I think, a Kozone trainee.
Probably.
But who has gotten really, really over with the DPW audience, and is very much a homegrown guy. But he I think is serviceable in the ring, but really like his personality for me and I think for everybody else is what they're into with him.
Oh, for sure.
Both in the ring, like his personality comes across, I think, really well in his matches. But also the pre-tape stuff that DPW does, he seems like a really cool guy. He just seems like a cool hang.
I do love his entrance gear with the glasses and the giant shirts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I did just send the gear into the chat.
That's not what he wore.
Oh man.
That's not what he wore on this show.
It's similar.
But yeah, that's the gist.
Yeah, I don't think
that really is. Oh, that's really awful. That's really bad.
No, it's the same gear. I think it just looks better in that photo because there's a image of him coming out to it in like a video here, which you don't have Instagram, so I can't send you the video, Cooper. But like I'm telling you, it's the same gear.
Dude, well, this is giving me a headache. I thought y'all were just gonna show me like regular, like terrible indie look. I expected to see like Jordan Oliver or some kind of guy like that. But this is beyond.
Yeah,
this is so far beyond what I could have even come up.
He like does like the pants and the trunks, but he gets like what is the type of dye they do? You know what I'm talking about? It's like that dip dye. It's where like you dip it in. You know, no, not tie dye. It's
like a submersion.
Yes, I know what you're
thing.
I forget what that's called, but that's what his pants look like, and then with like normal trunks over the top. But yeah, god awful gear. I think that might be my hashtag worst gear of 2025 up there. I can't think. There's probably something worse.
Well.
He's
hey, save it for the strongest style.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be that's going to be a new award. Clock it now, and BK will definitely be a nominee for sure. But they get the win. Bo Dash picking up a big win over Center and Saint, with Trevor Lee leaving him out to dry basically. But yeah.
Yeah, it's it's an opening tag.
They've been having Bo Dash in this like opening tag spot for a while now. I'm curious, especially they're building up on the show, the commentators, if they'll actually see them maybe get a tag team title shot soon. Especially since they're tagged recently. But then we move on to our first women's match. We have Danny Luna and the debuting Emerson Jane versus that crazy High-On and Lena Cross. And can you say Lena Cross's nickname for the people, Cooper?
Oh, I forget her nickname.
She is the tallest B word on the indies, and that is what she was announced as.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was pretty tall, but I mean, she's not like freakishly tall, but it's like everyone on the indies isn't like super tall, so it's like by proxy. If you're 6 foot and a woman, you're the tallest. I was like, because that's what like the ring announcer said. She's the tallest on the indies. I was like, whoa. Was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But this was fun. Emerson Jane was going. I have seen Emerson Jane on a bunch of graphics for UK indies, but this is the first time I've actually seen her wrestle. And I know she's done a bunch of deathmatch stuff, so when she was just doing like Sabu rope walks and dives, stuff like that, I was very shocked. I'm like, oh, one, she's short, which I was not expecting. I was expecting her to be like more average size. And two, like she's a very much like Sabu type wrestler. of just like constant high flying and trying to innovate as much as she can at least. And then it's always good to see Dani Luna. That's what we're here for. Hey, come on now.
Hey, so I know we were just ragging on BK, but can I also shout out Emerson Jane for the worst gear?
Her gear is
show?
better than BK's. It's bad, but it's not like terrible.
I found it more distracting. I don't know. Maybe just because I've gotten used to BK, but this was my first time seeing Emerson Jane in anything, and it was like just the shapes were odd, I think, is what I was confused by. But I mean, hey, more power to her. I thought her in ring was pretty fun.
I thought so too.
So
let me see.
Yeah, the Sabu stuff was
here.
was
let
fun.
let me send a picture of that to Jack. I don't even think this one's that bad. So what we're saying is we need to start wardrobe policy here at Deadlock Pro. Great wrestling, but we need to tone down some.
Exactly.
This was her exact gear she wore. Jack is in the chat. I don't think it's that bad.
1 second. There's no way this can be.
Like,
this is also pretty bad.
It's it's that green patch on the pants. That's what I'm talking about.
I can imagine this one being way more distracting, like during a match.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't find it that distracting. To be fair,
but also this looks like every other. This looks like shitty indie gear from like the 2000s.
Yeah, that's high spots.
John,
apparently that's probably why I'm used to it. I'm like, I've seen this gear so much. Apparently she wrestled Mercedes in this gear, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I thought this was fun, and ultimately what matters is Dani Luna getting the victory and taking out Hyon once again. And I think I really like the way the commentators built this up, of like Danny's in the same position that Hyon was in last year, of like missing the second half of the Battle of the Best and seeing how that will affect her spirit wise. And I'm curious, especially down the line, if we might see her turn here. Maybe, I don't know if they will, but like it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I like that they're touching on the character beats that I had hoped they would coming out of Carolina Classic, of the similarities now between Dani and Hyon being such intense rivals, and yeah, I mean Dani's work in DPW has been fantastic, as I'm sure everybody can guess from how big we hype her up. But I want to also shout out Hyon as the other part of that too. I think like her character stuff is some of the best on the indie scene right now, and I would venture to say just in wrestling generally, it's like she gets across what she is, what her motivations are so well, I think.
For sure. I think too, like I can still see her. She needs a DPW World's title, like women's world title run at some point. Like,
she'll get it. She'll get it. Yeah. I also want to say I think this team of her and Lena Cross is hilarious.
Yes.
I really love it. I hope they keep teaming together.
I do too. But yeah, and then we move on to Leon Slater, the youngest in charge, versus Manny Lowe. Manny Lowe, which is another one of those DPW prospects they've been building up recently. Co-zone student. They've been doing, I think, really interesting character work with him, which basically, like, he is LeBron Co-zone, who is the greatest man to ever live student, but he just can't help but be a dastardly bastard himself and try to cheat and find ways to win. And he always, like, talks, like, he was the one, I think, who actually started this Bodash team. He teamed up with another Co-zone student and Jackson Drake versus when the first time they teamed. And it was just like, he's always talking crap and getting himself into matches, like in checks he can't cash, to the point where, like, the last show they had a whole thing where he couldn't get a tag partner in the Carolina Classic. and then just went behind Kozone's back and got Priest to tag with him.
Yeah.
So to see him versus Slater, who, like, again, they're around the same age, or Slater's, like, obviously, like, the star here, I think this was a very interesting match. And to see, because, again, I still think Manny is a little green at certain parts, but it's like a green that, like, he makes it work, where it's like everything's not perfect, but because of that, the struggle looks good, you know? At least for me.
Yeah, I can see that. He, I think, needs to maybe like fine tune his offense a little bit more. His defensive work is really fun, and at times can get like kind of pretty creative, I think. But when he's on offense, and when it's time for him to either cut off his faces, or when he's working a heat segment, I think maybe he can get kind of bogged down in not just the like shtick of it all, but I think there's a lack of like through line with it. Mm-hmm. So, but he's definitely a really good prospect. I think if he gets more time and more reps in, he'll turn into something really, really interesting. Probably in like a year or so. But yeah, seeing this and seeing him go up against Leon Slater, who they are kind of like mirror images of each other, in terms of like, or Leon Slater is almost like a future Manny Lowe in a way. It's like, this is what you could be.
Yeah. If
you weren't the way that you are. But it was fun. I struggle a little bit with Leon Slater matches, I've noticed. Not in the sense that I'm not impressed by what he does. I am. But like my introduction to him was kind of him getting fed pilled with TNA, and so I don't know. Like every time I see him, I'm like, "You're so good. Please don't go there."
It's too late too. It's the worst part. Like, he's locked in. I would love though if he was actually like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the dub after all this like Fed booking just left. But no, that dude. Right. I mean, especially with the TNA partnership, like, they're rubbing him like he's like the genie. Unless I think they like lowball him crazy and AEW gives him a big contract, I would be. He's locked in,
Yeah.
But it is interesting, and again, that's part of the reason why I think it's interesting to see him in DPW. Is like, this is a guy who at this moment is not signed by WWE. He isn't. He has no ties. He is fully TNA, and TNA allows people to go to the indies, and he basically can get like big rates now because he has that kind of been on TV, has that look, and I think him especially, he's been very giving with DPW. I mean, he lost to Kozone in Vegas, and so I think it's interesting to see how he's booked here, because it's someone that obviously, like, he's not the future. He's not going to be there maybe by the end of the year, or start next year, but like you could still use him for a lot of stuff. He's a very good tool in like the storyline, stuff like that, I'll be interesting to see how much he interacts with Rev Pro now that he's Fed bound, but
oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Especially as a guy who's like was the Rev Pro guy recently,
Right.
But yeah,
I think he's done a little bit since they've more further integrated with NXT, but yeah, probably not as much as he was, but also I don't know how much of that is because of that, or how much of that was just going to happen anyway with him working in America more.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we then move on to the DPW Women's World Title. Nicole Matthews defending her championship, her baby, against Queen Aminata, the undefeated Battle of the Best 2025 winner, and AEW Starlet. I really dug this match because you know me. You put those two wrestlers in a match together, I'm like, I'm there. I'm sold. I wish they were given more time and we would have got more. It's very much felt like, okay, Aminata's coming to take over kind of thing. it didn't fully felt like they really like hit everything they wanted to hit here, but like it still really worked for me.
I will say this: if the main event wasn't what it was, this would have been my match of the night. It was, I think this was really great work. And Aminata, even though she is, very much an AEW star and is very much, the big TV wrestler coming into this little indie, she fits like a glove for this place. Like, I think that her style is so much better suited to this, intimate venue where you can really hear, the strikes and all that kind of stuff. Like, the off with her head that she gives Nicole, it just looked like murder. It just looks so awful. And man, Nicole Matthews too. We've talked before about how great her kind of like career resurgence has been in this kind of last year or two. But yeah, she is a master of the game and knows exactly how to make somebody like Aminata look like a big deal.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely go out of your way to watch this one. This is probably like there's 3 matches on here that I would say go out of your way to watch. This is one of them.
And I'm very interested to see how they continue to do this because she's obviously not done with that title. She hit Dani Luna in the back of the head with the wine bottle after Luna came out to confront Aminata. And then, of course, Hyon and Lena Cross also got involved and beat up Aminata and Dani Luna. And, of course, we're having Luna versus Aminata at Showdown and Carry 2. It's a lot of very interesting things for me, especially because, like, I think a 3-way between Aminata, Luna, and Nicole would be very interesting because, again, like, Aminata's undefeated. So, like, are you going to build her as this, like, super champion that eventually gets thrown down? Or, like, I think there'd also be interesting with this, like, possible seeds of Dani Luna turn and, like, the doubt inside of her to have, her get beat, like, Nicole win the title back or something like that. Because, again, it still feels like they just scratched the surface. They only had Nicole hold it for a couple months, which, like, if she doesn't hold it again, it's not a big deal. But, like, you could really just, like, have her run rum shot through that division by hook and by crook, kind of like Priest has done. And it works so well for whoever does actually, like, fully take her out, I'll be interesting to see where they go from here, especially since they're giving Luna versus Aminata, like, next show. That feels like something you hold off on if you were, like, because that's your unstoppable force is the unmovable object. So I'm interested to see how that progresses the storyline. Is it going to be clean? Are we going to see interference? Are we going to, yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's like night and day from AEW to DPW, where it's like, dang, this women's division, like they hit every once in a while they hit something, but it's like they obviously don't know what they're doing. I'm watching DPW, I'm like, they know what they're doing, bro. They are tapped in. I was like, especially like they're using Aminata's first belt as in DPW is a travesty for how long she's been in AEW and sniffed AEW. Like, okay, I understand that she may not win like the TBS title or something like that, but the fact that she didn't win like the Ring of Honor TV title or the women's title at this point,
the Ring of Honor stuff is extra.
It's egregious.
Red Velvet held up before Aminata. Like, what are we doing?
She was in the tournament final with Billy Starks and got screwed, and then yet never challenged for that title. Like, never won that title. You crazy to me. Then we go to LeBron Cozone, the man, the myth, the legend, versus Calvin Tankman. And let me tell you, Cooper, I have never been
heavyweight hustle.
I have never been more scared in my life watching a Cozone match than this one, because I was like, I don't know if he's gonna win this one. I was like, please, because this is something else where it's like sometimes booking's easy. You have Cozone, who's been on a tear, versus the man who's done the most in DPW history, the immovable the immovable object that is Calvin Tankman. And someone who, like, again, Cozone beats Tankman here. He gets the most defenses for that national title. gosh, I hate to give him props. Monticello said this is the best never open weight match of the year, and I agree.
And he's right.
He's right.
And he's right.
You should go back and watch this match, Jack. It rules.
Okay, I will while I am still on your DPW.
Yeah. Oh, brother, we're keeping that for a while. we're locked in, brother.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah. You go ahead, Cooper.
Yeah. So, Logan, you know me. You know I'm a big Tankman guy. I was very much hoping in the back of my head that he would take this belt from Kozone just to see how you'd react on the show. This match was rad. And the way they built this too, Tankman and Kozone have been on the same side lately. They've been teaming together pretty frequently, and with sometimes with Manny Lowe, who's kind of the Vexus point for all of Tankman's problems lately. So going into this, you have the opportunity to do something kind of cool, and maybe Tankman finally takes out all of his aggression that he's been building up with Manny out on Kozone. But they went the route of Kozone retaining, which I think is good, and probably logistically what they should have done. But I'm just too hard in the paint for heavyweight hustle at the minute. So
for sure. I also thought LeBron had we were all talking about a bunch of bad gear. LeBron Kozone had great gear on. That baby blue with the white.
Yeah.
With the white boots and the I thought they looked very clean. And I'm very excited. I'm interested to see. I feel like I have the outlook on Kozone, and we may save that for the Erick Stevens stuff, but I'm interested to see where Tankman goes from here. Again, he's won the world title. He has the most offenses. He's won the national title. He held it for about as long as he did the world title. He has, second longest reign now, stuff like that. Maybe you could run this back. You could have him turn heel again and win the national title. Do you maybe see him do tag team stuff? Like, this is a guy who's done it all in this company, and I don't feel like there's necessarily an idea of where he will go next. So I'm interested to see where he ends up,
For sure. I mean, he's I would like to think that he is too valued by them to be, kind of. I think they do value Bojack, but I think it is telling that their first world champion is now in an opening card tag act, right? But Tankman, to me, I don't know. He just feels like he has so much upside, and you can plug him in pretty much whenever you want into the main event scene. That I would really love to see them, keep him as a dominant singles.
For sure.
He doesn't even have to be heel. He could keep playing this tweener thing that he's been doing. But somebody who at any point could be a threat for the national title, for the world title, for the Carolina Classic, for any situation that you put him in, it should be one that he could take it.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. That's how I use him.
He is literally when you think of DPW at this point, he is the first face on the Mount Rushmore. That is him, especially for single star. If you're going for male single star, you cannot think of anybody else. So it's just very interesting as a guy who's already has done it all. Especially indie promotions like this, he could get. I mean, I don't know if Tankman is ever going to get that call. I think he could be a great person in Ring of Honor AEW. I don't think he'll ever go to WWE. That's not something I see for him in the books.
Right.
A lot of times with these, when you have promotions like this, you're just you are a feeder to a certain extent. So Jay Malachi, great guy, got the world title, but it's before you could even necessarily, get to expand on what you want to do with them, he's gone. But then there's other guys where it's
Yeah.
like these guys are great guys. For some reason, they're not getting brought up by the main event scene. So it's like, how long do you have them do what? It's very interesting because like sometimes you run through what you can do for a wrestler, and it's like, but they're not going anywhere, and that's your guy right there. That's your backbone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we then move on to a match we can't talk about.
Big one.
You gotta
we
wait,
gotta wait?
brother. You're gonna
Okay.
wait. I know you're EP Jack, but you just a little bit longer.
We got
No,
Don't
it's
worry.
all right. It's
The
all
next
right.
match,
17 years of history for us.
the next match, I don't feel like we'll keep on too long. It is a 3-way. Originally supposed to be a 4-way, but a 3-way for the DPW World Championships. Their first ever ladder match. The Miracle Generation defending against Violence is Forever and the Grizzled Young Veterans. This was fun. This was a ladder match, and I enjoy seeing well done indie ladder matches because there's a certain amount of more reckless abandon because the ladders are so shoddy. Like they're not good ladders at all. And you know it's like which one is the one they'll actually use, like that big red one. Like none of these other ones can reach this title. I thought this was very fun. I had some gnarly spots. Especially the package pile driver through the ladder that completely collapsed.
Yeah.
I also thought like this was crazy to me. I don't know how that ladder stayed up because when the
one with the
yes.
bent.
When GYV
yeah,
was like
yeah.
slamming it on VIF, I was like, this ladder's gonna break. Like I'm watching this thing like get all wanky and stuff like that, and you guys are gonna try to climb, and I'm like, this is a terrible thing. Now you know me, I'm the biggest VIF mark ever, so I was like the whole match homering. I was like, come on, boys! Whatever they're the only two in the ring, I was like, come on! But at the same time, I'm like,
Right.
as soon as Koo like hurt his shoulder, I'm like, they're not letting Guarini grab these titles at all. If someone's gonna grab them, it's gonna be they're not letting me. I'm like, come on, please. And I respect GYV, but also I want to see them get their butts kicked by VIF so bad. So every time they start attacking, I'm like, this sucks. This is awful. Because they always just seem to beat the crap out of them. I'm like, this is not fair. It's not how you should be booking it. These guys shouldn't win.
I think GYV have been quietly building a tag team of the year case in my book. I find their heel stick so
I do
good.
too. It's
But it's like it's the priest kind of.
it hurts, especially when it's in against my boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave them alone.
Right. Yeah.
But VIF just, I mean, they can put them on any spot of the card. They're gonna get pops. They're the other. If you say a Mount Rushmore for the tag teams, that's them. But I do think it's interesting that they're continuing this Miracle Generation run. I was curious and if it would have possibly had like a title change if Workhorsemen were in. I think like I could have saw like an outside chance there. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought they got the ladder match. I didn't fully like the finish just because. So one thing I'll say against GYV is I don't feel like the whole thing is a lot of the scarf stuff. It did not look like he had that chokehold on whatsoever, nor did it stop him from grabbing the titles. I was like, guys, what are we doing? I was like, but yeah, this is very fun.
It
was very violent, so I give it a pass. And I do like the babyface team. I'm not like the biggest Miracle Generation guy, but I need to watch more of their stuff. I need to go back and watch the tag team festival again one more time, I think.
Oh yeah. The tag festival run is really good from them. I've liked them from what I've seen this year, which granted is the only thing I've seen from them. But they're a fun young tag team that I think have a lot of upside to them, and a good idea to put the belts on them when they did. I think, and they could keep going for a little bit longer. But like they don't need like a massive reign or anything. But establishing them now as a force in the division, I think will pay off later. This match I think was maybe a tad too long for my liking. I did like it. I did like some of the spots and everything in it, but like I think this was, if not the longest match on the card, it was certainly up there. I think maybe it could have been.
It was the longest match on the card.
Maybe more effective. Yeah, maybe more effective if you cut some out.
Yeah, cut a little bit of the fat. It was definitely the longest match on the card in 19 minutes and 26 seconds. I will say this, and this is what I think is interesting about Miracle Generation retaining, is I feel like there's going to be a heel tag team to take it off, and I'm going to give you right now who I think are going to be the next two DPW tag team champions. Trevor Lee and Adam Priest are going to take these titles off of Miracle Generation. They are going to have a true blue tag team title run here. Probably. And Bodash is the ones who are going to take the title off of those two. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to see Bojack throw around those two and then Morgan Dash get like an upset win on Adam Priest? I mean, it's story right itself. But like as soon as they retained, I'm like, I feel like there's so much of that like Trevor Lee, Adam Priest stuff that like we're just waiting, you know. And again, that'll eventually lead to their feud, but like there's definitely stuff. But we'll lead that to the main event: Steel Cage, DPW World's Championship. The 2-time Carolina Classic winner, Jake Something, going back to back. And, I mean, this match couldn't have been started off more perfect than this is a steel cage match. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And per request of Adam Priest, escape. I have not laughed harder in a minute.
He's got it.
I love to, and just to make sure, who requested this?
Right.
This was the most the walls are closing in on me I have ever seen a match. Priest, I mean, like, he didn't even look like excited. He's like, oh God. And this is a match of the year. For me, at least. I think the way they structured this was so well, especially the start where you just have Jake Something mauling Adam Priest. It's like a bear stuck in with like a toddler in a steel cage. It is not fair at all. And then, only getting the breather really when Trevor Lee comes out. I think everyone coming out from the locker room too, I really like that touch. I'm going to let you talk on it a little bit before I ramble on, Cooper.
No, I mean, I just wanted to say I agree. I think this is a match of the year. I think this is absolutely one of the matches from the show that you need to see. I think that the dynamic here of, I mean, Jake Something just going on a warp, like it's the unstoppable force meeting the very movable object in terms of Adam Priest. And yeah, I mean, like the sense of catharsis and comeuppance that you get from the whole match, the whole scenario, is unlike I think anything really that we've gotten in wrestling this year, aside from like the Hangman win over Moxley, like like that's these two moments of the year of these real shithead heels holding these belts hostage, only to really crumble underneath their own hubris. I think has been really, really great to see from these two promotions.
Yeah, I really love to like how like such a. I mean, he's always been a little prick, but like an undeniable like all-timer little prick performance here out of Priest of like. There is the only way he can get something off of him is it's not cheating like he said because anything's legal, but like the most unhonorable way. He has to hit him in the chair with the leg. He has to chop block him. He has to low blow him just to get him off of him to try to have some hope here of like winning. And I love, again, when all else fails, he does try to escape, and the cherry on top of him being power bombed into oblivion. Oh, I thought the match was going to be good, and I'm like, on paper, I'm like, this is going to be phenomenal, but like, it exceeded my expectations. I was like, this is the perfect way. So much so that I tweeted about it, and Jake something liked my tweet. So.
yeah. Super friend Jake something.
But yeah, DPW Super Battle, pretty good. We didn't talk about one match. So we mentioned before, Erick Stevens.
The one match.
Erick Stevens, Roderick Strong, a feud that is nearly 18 years old. I think it is 18 years old. I mean, there's a full-blown kid out there that was born in the first match. A lot of this feud starts in Full Impact Pro, a sister promotion of Ring of Honor in Florida. All those tapes are gone to the ether. Somebody out there has to have some of them, but
I think there's a couple maybe that are up on YouTube, but yeah, not all of it. Certainly,
I could not find any of it. Did you find any of it?
Well, like I said, maybe some. Maybe like I think. If there are, it's the later period one, like stuff that they're doing in like 2009, 2010.
I'm curious too, like how much of this is on DVD too, because like Ring of Honor at the same time had all those things on DVD.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
So
I don't really know how Full Impact Pro distributed their stuff, really.
I'm looking up stuff on eBay right now.
Yeah, I know their belt, the FIP heavyweight belt, which is up for grabs in one of these matches, was at the time considered like a very prestigious kind of indie title to hold. It had a really great lineage up until I think like maybe like 2012 2013ish, where that scene gets kind of gutted, but yeah, I'm definitely like, these are two guys both from a very specific place in a very specific time in American indies, and the process of seeing them come up together and the differing paths that their careers take from these matches, I think is really interesting to watch, and we'll get into some of that too later on as we dissect them.
For sure. But yeah, the first one, which I did own now, is Ring of Honor Main Up. I never recorded this because I'm a bum. Did you watch this match, Cooper? Okay,
I did.
You said you found it.
I did
and I
watch
was
this
like,
match.
And like Jack was like, I'm not tapping into this, Steven. So I was like, I'm not gonna record it because this is a very good Ring of Honor show. That's like one of their highest rated one cage match, and it's not on Honor Club. I want to say this before we get any of this started. Honor Club sucks. Like, it is a pain in like. There's not the only like when the best wrestling like streamer is New Japan World or Wrestle Universe. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, that's the easiest way to find that, because like it was such a pain to find these matches. You basically have to go to the yearly events, find the event, and then find it. You can't just search up anything.
Yeah, this might be also, just as an aside, like the most niche retrospective.
Oh, for sure.
Done. I couldn't believe how many matches there were, honestly, that y'all fucking found and watched.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah, let never be said that we don't go above and beyond for our audience here. I hate this both New Japan World and Honor Club have the same like setup almost. It's like they use the same like hosting thing, I guess. But I despise that, whatever that is, with the layout and how unsearchable anything is, and also just the straight up lack of content. Like the fact that the first two matches of this rivalry, one from Man Up 2007 and the other from Final Battle 2007. Final Battle 2007 doesn't exist on Watch ROH either, and that's crazy. Like, you know, at least with New Japan World, you get every Tokyo Dome show. Like that's you get it off the bat, right? When they first did this big relaunch of New Japan World, that was the guarantee, was, okay, you're going to get every Tokyo Dome show, you're going to get every G1 final. But Ring of Honor can't even dish out for Final Battle. Like, you know, their WrestleMania,
it's
so to
Final
speak.
Battle.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of explanation out there for it that's not just they didn't think about it. But that's what I'm leaning towards, is that they just didn't think about it. They didn't think that anybody would do what we are doing and wanted to go back and watch all
of these. You don't understand, too, how bad, not just Ring of Honor, I want to see the FIP matches. They had a Cage of Pain match. They had a dog collar match. They had a last man standing match. Go Shiozaki won the FIP world title at some point. And they did a three-way. I just bought one off of eBay because I've been like scrolling through eBay trying to find one, and I will be reviewing. And I put a bid on like 5 shows. I'm like, these are insane. Like, this is like Bizarro World Ring of Honor. I want to watch this so bad. But anyway, the first match at Man Up, which is in the middle of a lot of this feud, is in the Resilience versus the No Remorse Corps, which the Resilience is Erick Stevens. It's Austin Aries, and gosh, who's the other wrestler? Matt Cross, M-Dog 420 himself, or whatever it is. And then the No Remorse Corps is Rocky Romero, Davey Richards, and Roderick Strong, and they're all bald. And this was like this little best of 3 where each member had a singles match.
Roddy's not bald at this point.
No, but he has a shaved head. They all have like shaved heads mostly.
Yeah, he's got a very close crop, but no, it's not bald.
But this was the best of 3. This was the decider, and this was easily the best match of these 3. This was a very young Erick Stevens, very green, and like, again, it's a tale of all these matches, but like especially this one, they hit hard. They hit each other. There's very few men I've seen that are chop harder than Roderick Strong, and Erick Stevens is one of them. I feel bad for Roddy, and I don't feel bad for Roddy very often. There is a move that Roddy hits in multiple ones of these matches, Cooper, where it is like the pump handle backbreaker, but instead of him lifting you in the air, he just flips you directly on your head. It is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like a backdrop suplex almost, but then he over rotates intentionally.
And it looks like he doesn't get any air either. He just immediately flapped into your skull. It's insane. Look, the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, go back.
Yeah. I think that Erick Stevens, in this early part of his career, is and this will kind of, I think, go to show the differences in these two guys throughout the rivalry. Erick Stevens does not seem like he knows who he is yet. He's like, just aesthetically, you can see he's going for a lot of stuff. He's got his mohawk. He's got his shitty little high spots trunks on. He's got the leather jacket, or the leather vest, even. Excuse me, not a jacket, but a vest. But he does know that he is a big guy. He's bigger and wider than Roderick is at pretty much every point in this feud, really up until the very last match.
Yeah.
Which was kind of an interesting sight for me. But and Roderick Strong has always kept the exact same look, like throughout his entire career, gear-wise, certainly, vaguely in his body and face and everything. The only change that Roderick Strong has made to his appearance in the past 2 decades is that he decided to grow facial hair. That's that's about it. And that, I think, it not only shows you that Roderick Strong has always been kind of boring in a positive sense, but also like the character of Roderick is one that is built around consistency and sharpness, and like he is somebody who is all about these like little ways of being the sharpest in the game constantly, right? And that's something that Erick Stevens doesn't have yet at this point. So
for sure. Yeah, Roddy is just like a machine, and like in all these matches, he's just a machine. Like he's just a guy. It's like I know, and especially like I do like it of like it is part of the no remorse course. He doesn't care. He's just gonna win. That's his thing. And like Stevens, especially in this match, it feels like maybe I can do it if I hit everything right. And like he definitely hits hard and stuff like that. But like, and he has like somewhat of a look, It's very weird seeing.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll be honest, even though I picked this, I haven't watched a single Erick Stevens match before this one. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And so
Okay,
going back to see him mohawk but no tattoos at all, big dude too.
Yeah.
Big dude. I was like, this doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
But,
he I just the couple of notes that I had for this first match here, speaking about Roddy Strong and how much of a machine he is. Like his stamina is so crazy. Like he in the last like 3 minutes of this match looks like he's, I don't know, maybe taken like a couple of breaths. Like he's just completely unfazed. He looks exactly the same. As
and this is when Roddy's like a bigger dude too. He's not tiny at all.
No, Roddy's big, but he's more defined, I guess, than Erick.
Yes,
is.
for sure.
And yeah, but like he's such a young Roddy Strong in this series is such an asshole to Erick. Like he finds these little moments. There's one point where he like backbreakered Erick over his knee, and instead of just dropping him, he keeps him there for a little bit, and he's like kind of stretching him out, right? And he just while Erick's face is like on his side, he just pops an elbow to him real quick.
Yeah,
like it was the most like little brothery kind of sort of thing that he could do. And yeah, just such a like horrible little prick. But Stevens has a couple of things that pop up real quick here. The first is the choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
I just want to say, I do not care for that. I do not care for the choo-choo. But so that's his running splash into the corner. Erick Stevens hits a nasty lariat. Like I'm talking like a ball game kind of lariat. He puts his entire shoulder into that thing. He's got that. He's got this spot comes up a couple of times to counter Roddy's sick kick that he does. He will catch him and then lariat him while he's like cradling him, and that pops me every time. I love that move. And the TKO as well from Erick. That's his kind of big finisher at this point. But yeah, I mean this first match is and the Doctor Bomb. The Doctor Bomb is his actual finisher. My bad. This match is pretty good. It's I think a good like sort of a taster for what is to come. Definitely not the best, but sets up kind of the dynamics pretty well, and introduces the Ring of Honor audience to this stage of a feud that had been kind of simmering under the surface. So
for sure. Then we go on to Final Battle. Later, this first match was in 2007, and then it was about in September. This is the end of 2007. Final Battle, December 30th in New York in the Manhattan Center. Not the big one, but a smaller room of the Manhattan Center, because they hadn't debuted there yet. 6th anniversary show, or no, I'm tripping. This is Final Battle. I don't know why it's a 6th anniversary show, but I really dug this match, especially watching it on Cooper's TV. Because
you're welcome. I did purchase the
yes,
DVD.
What I really dug about it specifically is a lot of the first match. It felt like Stevens, like, again, he didn't have a defined character, nor did he feel like he fully had in this one. But it felt like he was a man that would not be stopped. No matter what Roddy did, he just couldn't kill him, and that he was going to find a way to put Roddy away. Like, it just felt like every escalation, the crowd was behind him too, which is really nice, you know. And like I was like, this is the man right here. I'm like, again, you know me, big Roderick Strong mark, but like there wasn't a single match where I was rooting for Roderick Strong like this whole feud. I was like, come on, Erick, beat his ass. But
yeah, you're like me with Dragon when we did our retrospective on him and Nigel. I was like, I can't stand Bryan Danielson for a good like couple of years.
And
after
this felt really good to watch because this was the only match he won in Ring of Honor. He won the title one time in Ring of Honor. But yeah, he just, I mean, too, that pop-up, that, like, catch lariat he does, they need
it's so good.
More wrestlers need to use that move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steal it. Absolutely. I will say, so in this one, with the belt on the line, it is like it gives Stevens a renewed kind of sense of purpose, and he dominates this entire match, but in the early interactions too, you can see like Strong recognizes this kind of flip that's been switched for him, and so Strong gets scrappier quicker. Like he keeps he goes to the cheap shots earlier on in the match. Also interesting note for the FIP title, the matches have a 20 count.
20 count
on the outside,
and it can change hands by count out and disqualification. This was put in place by Roderick Strong. It was mentioned by the
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
This is all by Roderick Strong, who's deemed this for this world championship, which I thought was really nice, especially because again, all this, and he's still he's put himself into his own demise, because like again, if you were a true heel, you could just walk away, but not Roderick Strong. No count out, disqualification, title change hands. He has to be Erick Stevens, and on this night, unlike every other night, he just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean the way that Roddy takes advantage here and so he takes things to the outside pretty early, and while he's out there, he gets Stevens up into the entrance ramp and hits the Gibson driver on the entrance ramp, and it makes the most sickening thud I have ever heard. And Stevens just barely gets in at 19. And like that, at that point, like the crowd just loses their minds, and they're clanging on the barricades and all that kind of stuff. And the hype for this one was really good. This is probably my second favorite match of the series. I think
mine too. But yeah, immediately after that, a couple months in FIP, their redefined show, Roderick Strong would regain that world championship. And a 30-minute match that ended via countout. That's how Roderick Strong won the title. His own rules he put into place. Yep. And immediately after, like literally I think a week after that, and also apparently in that match he busted Erick Stevens opened up so bad that they had to super glue his head. They could not put stitches or staples in his head. They repeatedly said on a commentary. This got to my favorite match because of the absurdity of it. In the 6th anniversary show for the World Heavyweight title, no disqualification 3-way dance, Roderick Strong, Erick Stevens, and representing the age of the fall, the Necro Butcher.
Oh my God.
I have never laughed harder than seeing this like blood feud between these two hard-hitting professional wrestlers, and then you throw in the Necro Butcher. Because if you don't know, like, the Necro Butcher is one I want to show all my non-wrestling fans. Like, this is why wrestling's so interesting. Because if you look at this guy, there's no way he should ever be able to win anything, ever. Like, he is full redneck crackhead strength. And it's very interesting because, again, they are in this middle of their blood feud, so they immediately start brawling on the ramp. And Necro takes advantage by, like, as soon as just throwing them into those barricades, he rips one off and starts beating them with it. He, like, is constantly throwing chairs at everyone. He's, like, sliding chairs into their faces. They're just, like, beeling chairs at everyone. And then, like, eventually when, like, they start realizing this guy's a problem, they start beating the ever-living dog crap out of it. Roderick Strong takes liberties on Necro Butcher in this match that I have not seen the likes of other than, like, Samoa Joe. Because basically, like, this match, it's just a fun, no disqualification. They're constantly using chairs. Necro's trying to get his one up here. And the way the match ends, basically, Stevens gets Necro. He's about to, he's like, they're brawling, and Roddy throws him out of the ring. As Necro hits him with a big move, Stevens a big move. He gets Necro up. He just starts going to town on him. He hits the nastiest Gibson driver. He hits a Gibson, so he goes for a Gibson driver on a table, but he can't get Necro up before, so he just like picks him up into a pedigree decision and like pedigrees him through the table. And then immediately, like, because like Strong like sat on the outside for like 5 minutes, gets his air, and again like full like the craziest cardio you'll ever see a wrestler. Literally like immediately after getting to the table, picks him up, and like Necro Butcher cannot take a Gibson driver correctly, so he is getting dropped directly on his head. He is getting tiger drivered by Roderick Strong for the 1, 2, 3. It is awesome. It is the best thing. Go out of your way to watch this match. I know you didn't, Cooper, but like please go back and talk to me about it because it is so funny. But yeah, another title loss for Erick Stevens. This time he doesn't get pinned, but very sad. Then we move on to the Ring of Honor Supercard match, right?
Yep, that's right, from 2008.
No contest. Because much like John Moxley, they both immediately started hitting the ref.
They go for the referee, yes. I did like that it was a mutual decision, that they both decided that this is not worth it, and we are going to just take matters into our own hands. This is the evil hint of things to come later with the fight without honor. So you get a hint of what these guys can do when the rules are so relaxed that there is no match really. I mean the chops in this and how quickly they split each guy's chest open was insane to me. Just filled with such hatred are their hands that they cannot be contained. I mean, like the chairs and the way that the chairs are used here. Roddy just sends Stevens crashing into a ring post while a chair's wrapped around his neck. Stevens TKOs Roddy on the lip of the chair that he sets up in the ring at one point. Stevens is just ramming Roddy into this thing just over and over and over. It gets to a point where like you forget that the match has been thrown out, and because they're working it like it's a match regardless, and Stevens is working the cut on Roddy's head. At one point, he's biting him, and a young John Moxley takes notes, I'm sure. Everything is strong. Just like the strikes that he hits on him, the sick kick that finally lands. Stevens doesn't catch it. It looks like a comic book panel almost. Yeah. You see Stevens' head whip around. But yeah, I mean, the real kind of like I want to say cliffhanger at the end of this though is so Roddy gives Stevens just one of the most disgusting chair shots I've ever seen, completely unprotected. So Stevens is out. At which point the No Remorse Corps come into the ring. Davey Richards, I think it was, had a pair of scissors, and they cut Erick Stevens' mohawk.
Yes.
So they give it to Roddy, and he cuts it a little bit more. And one of my notes here was I think Roddy might be cutting into Erick's head actually. It might be making him bleed more. And then they take his belt and they stand over his dead body with his belt. So yeah.
Yep, and it was very sad, and they repeatedly said, the trademark! That's the trademark of Erick Stevens! His mohawk! That's a trademark! They did. All the bald guys made him bald.
Yes, his trademark mohawk. Truly, it's a fate worse than death, some might say.
But yeah, then we move on to the four-corner...
Not that I would know. I'll never.
Whoa. What are you trying to say here? Real quick, I think we might have desynced a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you just fine.
Making sure. We had a little bit of a lag there. I wanted to make sure. Four-corner survival. We had Roderick Strong, Erick Stevens, El Generico, and Rocky Romero. And the way a four-corner survival match works is basically it's a tag team match, but there's only one victor by pinfall. So it's in your best interest to not tag people in unless you necessarily need to. Erick Stevens is the king of this match. And basically, even though Rocky Romero and Roger Strong are in the same faction, they work together until they have to get a pinfall. They're like, wait, I want to take the pin. I want to take the pin. And Erick Stevens is able to, whenever they're kind of broing it out, push both of them into a corner and roll up Roddy for the 1-2-3. He would go on to challenge Nigel McGuinness for the Ring of Honor title that same night. I did not watch that match. And Roddy ended up costing him again by beating him down before the match and attacking his arm, which Nigel was eventually used to win. Which then leads us on to our next match on the card, which was Ring of Honor, another three-way dance. Somewhere between... So, they would then have a match in FIP. Last man standing, Roderick would win. They would then wrestle in a three-way at Ring of Honor, a new level, where Roderick Strong defeated both Erick Stevens and Go Shiozaki in about 6 minutes, basically rolling up Stevens once again. That they, at this point, they had already signed their Fight Without Honor, which is the big blow-off for the feud, and that leads us to that match, which is in... Is that at... What event was that called?
The Fight Without Honor...
Respect is earned.
Respect is earned.
Yep. Because the Four Corner Survivor was at Bedlam and Beantown.
The early ROH naming schemes are truly something.
By the way, I scoured through all of eBay and I found one FIP tape that is from 2008 that contained this feud. So I did immediately order that. So because I really want to see the dog collar match, but it's nowhere to be found. And I did place a bid for like 5 old FIP tapes. They're like $19 total because I was like, worst case scenario, I get a bunch of old shows. That'd be very funny to review on the podcast. But yeah, we go to finally the Fight Without Honor, the match that I feel like this whole feud has been building up towards, and well, it definitely has, and it definitely lived up to the hype because these guys were beating the ever-living dog crap out of each other.
Yeah, this, I think, is very much like in the same league as like the Briscoe FTR dog collar match. That kind of big, huge blow off with as about as intense of stakes as you can give it, and already that things are that shit's about to get real because Erick Stevens comes out with a full head of hair, full head of very close cropped hair. But yeah, I do joke. This match gets pretty uncomfortable in some places, man. So, some of the bumps and that they're willing to take to each other. I mean, they start with the strike exchanges pretty much right off the bat, and they do the full wind up for those chops, man. Like they're trying to slice their chest open like they did in the last one. But man, like the ladders that come out and the ladder bridge that Roddy sets up, and I mean, like the crowd is also pretty ravenous for all of this too, and like a lot of my notes here even are kind of incomprehensible. Like at one point I just stopped referring to what's happening, and I just said like just watching that gave me whiplash. Like I don't even know what I was referring to when I wrote that. But I mean, it's a match like watching a match like that, I think makes it even more interesting that Erick Stevens became a kind of lost name in this crop of Ring of Honor talent. Because a performance like this, which I think got like, if not a full 5 stars, certainly pretty close to a 5 stars from the Wrestling Observer. That's the kind of stuff that during this time you'd almost be guaranteed to be, talked about forever in hallowed breaths and all that kind of stuff. But fairly shortly after this, actually, I think Stevens kinds of drops down the card and further down until he eventually makes his first retirement from the business to, I think, kind of depressingly little fanfare. I wonder what it would have been like to have been watching at the time and to have been a fan of his at the time, and to see kind of the lack of response that he got that Strong did, who I think undoubtedly came out of this feud a bigger name and obviously went on to have his run at the top of the industry, both in WWE and in AEW. Whereas Erick Stevens has made his second comeback in DPW, which is but still an indie. So I felt kind of a weird sense of like melancholy watching this too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I did too. It is very interesting to look at. They did technically have one more match in Ring of Honor, but how horrible Watch ROH is. They had the matchup. There was 5 minutes. They barely got started and it was gone. Which this is also something interesting.
Yeah.
Erick Stevens joined the embassy with Prince Nana, and where's Ghana as his entrance?
I know that's the one match in this whole series that I could find with Stevens specifically working heel
exactly
against Strong, against a face Roderick Strong. And you get like a couple minutes of like early technical like arm work, and then cut to the finish.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? I feel robbed. Like,
Yeah, I was very confused when I was watching it, and I was like, did it just glitch out? It like went to the next one. I was like, what just happened? Their final match before this most recent one was there's actually they had in 2010 they had 2 matches other than that one involving each other. Or 3 technically. They were in a battle royal that Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong won. Very interesting.
Oh.
All
right.
Oh, let me read this. Who's in this? Jon Moxley, Roderick Strong, Brad Allen, Bruce Santee, Caleb Conley, Chasen Rance, Boo, Erick Stevens, Jigsaw, John Davis, Rhett Titus, and T.J. Perkins.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty horrific lineup there.
One of his last matches was Roderick Strong. Erick Stevens did tag with Jon Moxley. And then their final match it is a Cage of Pain 3. I don't know how in a Cage of Pain match you get double counted out, but they found a way to do it.
More power to him.
But yeah, that was their final match, double count out, before we get to this one in DPW Super Battle. The storyline going in, Erick Stevens retired from professional wrestling around 2010, 2011. He had a little brief comeback in the late 2000. I think, was it after 2020? Or was it before?
I think it might have been like 2019-ish.
Yeah, I can just check his cage match. Why don't I do that? Let me just click on him and see as good of matches. But basically, he retired. He felt like he didn't give it all. He had a brief comeback in 2019 to he came back in 2019. He retired in 2010, came back 2019, wrestled pretty much that whole calendar year. Wrestled in 2020 that the pandemic would allow. had a couple matches in 2022, then quietly retired again, and then had another, even though he's become since then, as I have known him, Erick on Twitter, and a lot of his base Twitter opinions, which a lot of people...
Fantastic Twitter follow.
And a lot of people may know him from Twitter. And then he had this DPW come back very recently. Because I know he wrestled VIF and stuff on his original return. But yeah, since he's been back, he's basically wrestled only in VIF except for one match in C4 for the C4 Underground Championship.
Didn't know that.
This is in Ontario, Canada, apparently. So, but yeah, so he's been wrestling in DPW. He wrestled first in a tag match with Violence is Forever in a 3-way or 6-man. Then he wrestled in the Carolina Classic, where he lost to LeBron Cozone in the first round, and he realized, guys, I might be washed. I might suck. Like, I may not have it anymore, but like I want to have it, and I want to hold championships, and I want to be good for as long as I can, and I need to get better. And the only way I see myself getting better is one last time he called that demon Roderick Strong out to DPW, where the best wrestle, to test his might,
dude.
One last time.
Their video package before this was so hilarious. Erick Stevens is, talking about Roddy Strong and talking about, like, this might be my last chance, and I just have to know if I can really do it now, and all this sort of stuff. Like, very determined, very and like Roddy was like, yeah, I thought
it'd be pretty
I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Like, this feud, I've missed this guy in like, what, 15 years? Like, it'd be pretty fun, man. He's like, we're going to see what he really has, I believe in him. Like, he's like, he doesn't even seem like he really cares, like, to beat him up. He's like, yeah, I believe. He's like, very like, this is my bro. Like, this is a cool guy,
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's like, I like to think that we're friends now, and all that sort of thing. It's like, do you? Are you?
Apparently, they tagged and won the FIP World Tag Team Championships at some point together.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
I don't know if it was like a Franken team situation where they hate each other but they just kept winning, or if it was like someone turned heel and they worked together. But yeah, it was very funny because Roderick was very much like, yeah, we'll see if he, I think he can do whatever he wants, Ooh, this is fun. And then like they get in the match and Roderick's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you now.
Yeah. The flip switch is pretty quick.
As soon as he dropped the dude on the turnbuckle and then immediately onto his head, I was like, this isn't very friendly anymore, Roderick.
Dude, the guardrail backbreaker. Okay, yeah, that was the spot you're talking about. Yeah, like you guys are in your 40s now. You know that? Like, stop it.
Yeah, this is what's crazy about this. Again, all of them have been very hard hitting. There's that certain spots where I'm like, this is up there for the most hard hitting they have ever been. Some of those back elbows to the heads, I was like, guys, you're old.
Stevens gets it pretty rough for pretty much most of this match, but there's a moment where he thinks that he kind of has a window of opportunity. It's after he hits Roddy with a stunner real quick, and you see this like look in his eyes where he's like, okay, now I can get started. Now I can go and do something. And Roddy then just kicks the shit out of him for his troubles and just like crashes him back down. And like he mocks him like at one point, like while he's like stretching him out. He's just like, "Go on, Erick. Yeah, show everybody what you can do." I was like, wow, like you don't have to keep like talking to him like that,
It's very insane going from again like a 17-year difference in those last two matches, because like Roderick Strong is the same, but he's not. Like he's just gotten so much cleaner on everything. Like, he is an insane. Like, again, I understand some people were like, yeah, this guy's boring. I'm like, you don't get it, man. This guy's a robot, and it's insane to watch him just. I mean, picture perfect drop kick. I'm gonna kick you in your head, and then I'm gonna break your back, and then I'm gonna drop you on your head, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it. It's very impressive to watch. I really did like too. Like, we mentioned, the first match was Erick Stevens finding himself, and this is Erick Stevens finding himself again. You know, he knows who he is, in the sense of, like, he is a defined character, but he doesn't know what he's capable of. And he needs this, reigniting of the fire. I love that for the feud, especially after because I watched it the first time, and then I rewatched it after getting the whole feud contextualized for me. Those spinning back elbows to the head of Roddy, man, I was like, that looks like it hurts so bad.
Yeah. I mean, you see 15 years of frustration in it, and this guy just, like, raging against it. Like, they do the superplex spot, which they did in one of the earlier ROH matches too. And in one of those, Stevens no-sells it. He lifts himself back up and rushes back over to Roddy to beat him up some more. And, like, in that early one, I made a note. I was like, yeah, that superplex sell seemed like a little silly. And then they do the exact same spot in this one. I was like, oh, that works much better now. And because, well, one, the no sell from Erick is not quite as immediate. He takes his time getting up a little bit more because he's older, and it probably hurts a little bit more. But, like, what it means for him to get back up from that is different now than what it meant when he was a younger man. And when he gets that fire back in him, and he hits all of his big moves in succession, the catch lariat, the standing lariat, the doctor bomb, he hits these, like, back to back to back. Okay, the old Erick Stevens is back, baby. And it takes just one knee to cut him back down, and oh man, it's a tragedy, is what it is. Like,
it's very reminiscent of, like, the Nigel match, where it's like he's even able to get a royal flush, like, with all those moves in that session, and it's just not enough. It's the tale as old as time. It's like, yes, you are good, but this is the guy who is great. This is a guy who has never taken a day off, who has done this for the last 20 years, and he's only gotten better. And it's like, even on your best day, maybe once you'll be able to, but most of the time you can't. But I also think, again, like, that's not the point for Stevens, is to beat him. The more point is, and in a game, the same for Nigel's, like, and, like, it reminds me of that final Nigel match, is like, can I still hang, and where am I at, And for Stevens, he definitely is like, was I able to beat him? No, but, like, I was pretty close. And if I'm able to beat that guy, then I can be more confident in myself. And I feel like he will be the one to beat Kozone. That's my bold prediction, is either him, BK, or Trevor. One of those three. But I feel like BK's not going to do it, and they're going to build up Stevens to eventually just that one shining moment be able to beat Kozone. But I don't know. I really enjoyed this match. I actually thought it was one of the better on the whole card, mainly because the crowd was into it. What did you think, Jack? You saw this match.
Yeah, I liked this one a lot. I'm sorry I've been silent for so long, but there's so much I didn't watch. I really enjoyed watching this one. It was so intense, and it's always fun. This is a weird thing to say, but it's always fun with older wrestlers when they can get this into a match. It hits different than seeing people like it hits different seeing veterans with this much fire versus a lot of the time, with what I normally watch in New Japan. It's all these fucking super young folks recently, so it's a totally different kind of excitement. I love seeing the sweat flinging off their bodies. I love seeing Stevens hitting those fucking chops and those rolling elbows. And Roddy's moveset is always just, spectacular. Early in the match, he hit that backbreaker onto the barricade, and that's when I really
yeah, you're like, whoa,
in my seat. Like, okay, I see what's going on now.
That was the same thing to me. I was like, the first time I was watching, I was paying attention, but I was like half paying attention, and then I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, lock in.
That was when it got serious.
I love too, like a lot of this series, Erick's chops been worse than, like, way stronger than Roddy's, even though Roddy's are super strong, like just slightly. But like again, he's out of practice. Like when he started off, his chops were like nowhere near as good as Roddy's. But then when he fired up and just started laying into him, I'm like, yes. And then another thing that, again, maybe it's just we happen to do the 2 retrospective for Ring of Honor, but when Nigel lost, this is the first time he's ever been like put in, hit with the label lock. He's never been like put into the label lock. And this was the first time Erick actually got hit by End of Heartache.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. I had never thought about that before. Yeah, Roddy's always won like the Gibson driver or the sick kick or something like that.
He didn't even use that move at that point. So it was very interesting to see him take it, because I'm like, he's never taken that move before.
Right.
But yeah. And gosh, and then of course I love the fans. Like, this is an awesome thing, but the fans are like, "We are here for Roderick Strong." Like Erick Stevens comes out, they're like, "Roddy." And then as soon as they're like, "Please come back, please." Oh, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I do like also that DPW has made "This shit fucks" a consistent crowd chant, because I'm pretty sure I heard that at least like 5 times on Super Battle.
That is a DPW true chant right there. And then the main thing I think, other than the feud, is the full passing of the torch here, where Stevens, as someone who was in the golden era of Ring of Honor, has now said that like this DPW is the closest thing he's ever had to that feeling again. Like, this is the modern day, and that just warms my soul. I need the DPW tapes. I need this on disc, on some crappy DVD.
Hey, we should commission Undead Media to get it on VHS.
All of LeBron Cozone's title reigns. I will say this: after this episode in Super Battle, I am going to go back and watch both the Jake Something and the Cozone title wins over Priest to decide which one I like better.
I mean, that's a pretty stiff competition, but. I mean, Super Battle, I think, is definitely in my personal runnings for shows of the year so far. To have this culmination of one of wrestling's, I think, great undersung feuds is just the cherry on top of a delicious violent cake that DPW has baked for us.
For sure. It is very funny to imagine, because again, they just had like random. They were still in like the mid card Ring of Honor, where it's like, okay, we're gonna throw random 3-ways. Like, who would be the random 3? Like, imagine the Necro Butcher getting thrown into Bryan versus Nigel.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, with that being said, I think it's time. For the outro, thank you for listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. Haha, got it that time. You can follow us on all your podcast players of choice, Spotify, Apple, all that jazz. We will be back next week for a couple hours of rousing wrestling content. If you want to follow us on social media, so you can follow me, Milo the Herson, follow Jack, Mr. JNW himself, at Average Darth, and Cooper. Any last words?
I'll be here waiting until the next episode with anticipation.
Yes. We will see you guys later. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang.